It's all about me, baby. I'm taking over. No more Justin. Just me. Hi, everybody. How is everyone? Hopefully you're doing well. I can do an outro for an intro. Stay out of trouble, stay out of jail. Happy 3D printing. Save your children, run away. I'm going to try and stay PG-13, but he already put an F-bomb down there, so. See? Oh, look, right there. See? Look. Yep. So, I think he's waiting for me to drop the F-bomb, but I don't want to do that yet. I want to save it. I want to save my F-bomb. Let this guy have the first one.
Fuck.
There you go. There's the first one.
Love these random intros. They're so much fun.
Yep, just dump somebody on screen. Be
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
oh, it's all you, buddy. Enjoy.
One of these nights we'll have someone that hasn't been on here before, and I'll do it to them.
Yes.
And Shane's just like, I'm out. See ya.
I forgot I turned off the power to my workstation stuff. And my laptop was plugged into it and on, and the battery's dead.
Good job.
Oops.
That's
that happens.
Screwing up.
Yeah.
.com. Well, we don't really have anyone watching. We'll see who decides to join us in this world of worlds. Hopping over to Twitch to manage my stream.
So you know how, like, when you were a kid, you'd probably be able to jump rope all day?
Yeah, I can barely jump rope 5 minutes nowadays.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
I yesterday was being a wise guy, and I got one of my daughters all. Well, I got one of my daughters all pissy, and she started chasing me, and I realized I can't run.
Nope. Yeah, you're getting old. You can't do shit.
I can't even run down my driveway from the front of my house to my garage. I tried to do that, and she caught me before I even got to the garage. I was
We'll have to have a foot race at Rocky Mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, the maker, like 5 foot instead of like a 5K, we'll do like a 5 foot.
Right.
Or well, 5 meters, that would be what? Like what's 5 meters? Like 15 feet? A little more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do like a 5 meter race. Keep it metric,
Right.
None of those freedom units.
Well, a meter is about a yard, so it's
Yard is 39 inches, right?
36.
36. Okay. Okay. Well, So yeah, do like a 5 meter race.
Right.
About one leg.
Yeah. Shane can just lay down and we'll mark his foot, and then he kind of like sit down and mark it again, and we'll just do 5 Shane legs.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, wait, we're supposed to be measuring things in Mitch's now, and Mitch is what, 1.5 meters, he said, right?
Right. Yeah, no, 1.5 Mitches.
Yeah, 1.5. Well, so we could do, if that's the case, we do like a 3 Mitch race, roughly.
Right.
Yeah. So just have Mitch lay down and mark it, and then have him put his toes where his head was, and do that 3 times, and then we'll have like the 3 Mitch race.
Right. Oh,
yeah. I can guarantee you I won't win. I will not have the fastest time.
Right.
That looks pretty sweet, sir. What is that one?
This is the Cherries and Berries by TH3D. Spaghetti.
I was going to say, it looks like it was...
First co-extrusion.
Nice. Yeah, I have their. I still have some of their gamer vibes left somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's on top. Yeah, it's on top. You can't see it, but I've got some of the gamer vibes, and I also have their shiny penny or lucky penny or whatever it's called as well. Like all copper color. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, I got a few more things. I've got to print out 60 of these, 69 of those, and like 15 or 20 of these, like different parts. It's the cat dome. It's a little cat house thingy somebody made. So I wanted to see how much of a pain in the ass it is to print it out, and if it's not too much of a pain, I might make a couple for the local cat place to do as like a sale thing.
Yeah, I remember you said you've been doing some stuff to help them out, so that's cool.
Oh, someone's in green room.
Yep.
Oh, it's a very special guest. The man, the myth, the designer with a very cool product coming out to help with HughForge. Ajax.
How's it
Hey,
going?
Jax.
He's,
What's going
he
on,
actually
man?
lives like half an hour from me.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So, this guy. Welcome to your first actual stream.
Yeah, no, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. It's an Ajax. It's that rare. It's that rare time where he comes to visit. Hopefully, it'll be
Right.
more frequent, right? Right,
Yeah,
right, Ajax.
he's a busy guy.
I'll see what I can do. Yeah, it's challenging because I have kids
Oh yeah.
that I have 50% of the time, and so
Yep.
Understood completely. Good.
it
Sir.
can be
Understood.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything
So.
can be busy these days. I recognize that hat. I
Yeah.
wonder from where, I wonder where you got that from. And that hat was on Joel's video too.
It was. Yeah.
I'm surprised Chevy didn't reach out to Joel. Hey Joel.
Shane's got the I'll wear one forward, one backward, and
Right.
you know,
Ajax, if you haven't met the other two guys, that's Shane, Otter's Danger Den. He's been around
Okay.
for a while. And that's DB3D Dan. You probably still haven't met him. He'll be at Rocky Mountain. I think they'll both be around.
yeah. Ajax and I have talked. He assisted me in getting my. I believe that was you, Ajax, wasn't it? That assisted me in getting my my license all squared away with HughForge.
Yeah. Probably.
There's an outside Dwight.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can hear us. We can't hear him.
Yeah, I can hear you.
There you are.
There he is.
Okay.
Trying to find some hardware while we're hanging out.
Well, is that better? I'm using my little flashlight. I'm not at home.
Obviously.
Let me. I'm making adjustments here. I'm using my phone, guys. I'm trying to anyway. I don't know where this light's gonna work. Huh?
Where are you hiding, Dwight?
Well, it was actually. It's funny you say it like that. I was actually trying to hide. I'm so tired, dude. It has been the last like 30 days.
Right.
And then tomorrow gets to start all over again with Thanksgiving. As much as I'm looking forward to it, I'm too exhausted to do anything.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, Justin's
So-
forgetting he doesn't have his mic on, so when he's talking away from us, so it gets harder to hear him. He had some Bluetooth
Oh,
issues
there you
just
go.
prior to the show. So, but yeah, I kind of hear you. I pulled a bad boy at work and took vacation day today and get the next 5 days off now. So I'm really not looking forward to going back to work on Monday now. I'm going to be enjoying this, just lounging out here, doing dumb things and relaxing as much as I can.
Wait, Dan's doing dumb
Dude, that's
things? No way.
exactly what I want to do. It's just kind of, I just want to kind of chill. I mean, I don't want to have a schedule. I just kind of want to do whatever pops into my head.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to say that was this morning, but my wife always, threw a couple honeydew list things in there throughout the day to make it I couldn't just hide out here all day kind of thing. And then tomorrow is that, go to my family, go to my wife's family and juggle kids around. And then after that, Friday will be, she'll want to decorate for Christmas. So Friday won't be as much fun. And then Saturday, hopefully I get it all done Friday so I can relax a little bit on Saturday.
Right. Let's see if I can get Sergio a link. Everyone loves Sergio.
Yep.
Who do I
I
have?
haven't seen him in a while.
No. I'm hiding and hiding. So
Sergio's a busy guy, man. HVAC rests for no one.
Yeah.
this is true.
Especially this time of year.
Ain't that the truth, man?
Link in your Facebook if you want it. Sergio. So Ajax, how is the TD1 coming along?
It's coming along. Yeah. So I recently released like my alpha firmware yesterday, I think.
Sweet.
Which I call it the alpha firmware because it's it's not quite ready for prime time. It's more of at this point just data collection, like raw data, so that I can make sure that the calculation that I'm using to extrapolate what that TD value should be as accurate as possible. So hopefully this will be pretty quick of collecting a bunch of data, running through the algorithm, making sure it's right, and then I'll be releasing a version that actually does calculate TD, and then from there I'll start playing with color. So this first one won't come with any kind of color hex code along with it, but the next version I'll be playing with that to try to get a color code that's as close as possible, and then same thing, get that one out. So
That thing's going to be very popular.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I will get my hands on one some way, somehow. I will get my hands on one, even if I have to break into Jason's pocketbook.
Can I interrupt for a second? I'm watching this on my phone, and there's somebody new on here, and everybody's like a half inch. Everybody's this big.
Right.
So the one person, the one voice I can't recognize, who is that?
That's Ajax. You haven't met him.
Okay.
Well, no, you have. He was at Rocky Mountain.
we might have met.
Maybe. But what you were talking about, you had my attention. I just couldn't. Dude, I realize I don't like doing this on my phone. I can't even. Well, I can't see anybody. I can barely see myself. So I don't know if you guys can see me.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, what? Sorry, I didn't mean to backtrack here, but you really caught my attention. What are you doing?
So I'm creating a device called TD1. So it's designed to digitally capture your TD and color code values off of raw filament. And so to help with like HueForge, right? So within HueForge, you have to know what your physical properties are of your filament when it comes to like how much light can get through it and like what color your filament actually is, to know how, so that HueForge can know how to predict how that's going to blend with other colors as you start stacking them up. So if you know what HueForge is, yeah.
Okay, I get that. So you've developed a way for this to be auto sensing?
Essentially, yeah. So the old way of to get these values for HueForge was to like print a test strip, right? And actually layer two colors together, see how they blend, and then put the information into HueForge so that you can then try to calculate it to look right as you print. So it's an iterative process.
Nice. Okay, so when is this available now?
So it's available in alpha form, essentially. So, and only for people who are self-sourcing it. So the boards inside are all open source, like Adafruit sensors and LEDs and stuff. And then based off of an RP 2040, what is it? Zero. It's called the Waveshare RP 2040 Zero. So it's like the size of a quarter almost of a microcontroller. So it's all based off of that. And then I just write the firmware. So in order for somebody to get one and build one right now, it's only available if they build it themselves. Eventually, I'll be building and selling them pre-built or in kits that come with PC boards that, like I said, they are open source. All open source parts, but you do have to like wire them all together. So like I have one here that's all wired together, right? And if you open it up, there's wires
Justin,
inside.
can you blow that up?
Yep, hold on. Yep.
There we
You
go.
can see there's a lot of wires and stuff inside.
So.
No, it's all good.
Oh.
So this one has been wired manually, right? So it's all good to go. Whereas I've also designed some PC boards to go in here where all these. I got another one here. Let me open it up.
Hey, Jax, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just hopped in. What are we looking at here?
So this is TD1. This is my device I've designed and made for measuring TD.
Nice.
Okay, so now here's this one opened up that has the custom PC board where they all just solder onto it. So the design process or the build process for this is basically all just snap together headers and stuff.
Nice.
So there's two boards in there, one on either side of the filament path that it goes through. So I'll be selling that as a kit where you just print your own parts, solder the boards to the open source boards to my boards, and then you just assemble it all together like that.
Yep.
So that's
How many products do you actually have out there that are reliably working?
so like other than TD1,
Yeah.
0.
No. TD1. TD1. Sorry.
So
TD1.
of the TD1s, I personally have built like 6 that I gave. I took 5 prototypes with me to Earth when I was there, and I gave 2 to Steve and 2 to Ian, and then I built 1 more, so we each had 2 for doing the prototype testing and stuff. But I did just release the alpha firmware, all the files to where basically right now, if anybody wants to build one of these, they can build this wired version right now. They can order all the parts, the BOM, everything's available through my Patreon, so that if anybody wanted to build one, they could just go on there. It's $5, $5 a month for my Patreon. You can cancel after the first month, or if you continue, you technically you get a license. What's that?
$5 a month forever.
Yeah. I mean, well, so when you first sign up, you get your your first $5 gives you your first license, and you can get up to 3 licenses for now. That might change to be more or whatever, but or less, because it might the licensing might be more later down the road. So in the alpha form, it's only $5, but and that carries forward. So like if you bought a license and you paid for 3 months, you have 3 licenses. If the price goes up to 15, you still have 3. But if and when it does go up, that will change as to whether or not you get more than 3 licenses. But right now, you get a license every month for the first 3 months that you're a Patreon. So you could technically build up to 3 of these, sell them, whatever. So, but again, I will also be selling them in kits and complete units as well.
I mean, you're really talking about further in the industry when it comes to that type. So your theory is solid. Everything seems good on it. I would love to see an end result on this. Do you have an example
Of like a running one?
Yeah. No. End product.
What do you mean?
Like, what the final or your alpha of the PD1?
Yes.
So as of right now, these are all running my like the alpha firmware. That it doesn't actually display a TD. The firmware that I was running at Earth did show a TD value and a color value, but they weren't very accurate. And so it's been just kind of hammering on that algorithm and that calculation to try to get it to be as accurate as possible. So, man,
I think you're onto something here. I mean, Ajax, I wish I would have remembered you from Murph, but I'll see you again in March for sure. Are you going to be there?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, definitely want to sit and talk with you.
Yeah. So I'll be at the booth with HughForge. So
yep. HughForge and Ajax are co-sponsoring the booth.
Yeah, I live right here, so I drive by that event center every day.
I just want to hammer out what Dwight said. Yeah, we'll see you in March, April 20th and 21st.
Yes, sir.
No, it's April.
My man.
Sorry, I had to. I couldn't let that one go. I had to get that one.
Yeah, you suck. All right, but whatever.
That's all Dwight's fault, though, isn't it?
So, Ajax, what I would love to see would be a product where I could take something and go, I want the filament that most closely matches like this.
Well, we have that. Filament colors.xyz.
No. He's saying take any product, stick it in this, or have this be something you can set against a color. Have it scan that color and tell you this is the hex
color
code
key, basically.
direct. Yeah. So you know, for instance, like we'll use a car part. No, Rob, that's
no,
not what you're
not
thinking?
even that. So I could scan this, and then I could go on my computer and it would say, get this filament in this color by this manufacturer for the closest match.
The only way to do that would be
that's actually a really good idea. I don't see that being that difficult either.
Well, it's more.
I mean, that technology is already there. You can go to any hardware store that matches paint. The technology is there.
Yeah, and we have the repository of colors already.
Right. Yeah. Man,
So, and
I
that's
mean,
one of
these
the
are
things that
the idea behind this, dude, is fascinating. We're talking about reshaping possibly the future on how this stuff is done. It's happening right here.
Yeah. I mean, so okay, so to that idea, it is a little bit difficult to design something that can scan anything, right? I mean, it is possible to design something where you can put a sensor against something and scan it. That's easy, but the idea behind TD1 is to measure your filaments so that you can get the colors and stuff off of it to put them into a library within HueForge, so you know those real world values, right? And so
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't that much farther to do something like that, but it would have to be probably a battery powered device versus this is just USB powered.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see where you're
and then
going
you'd
with
be
this.
able to take that wherever and scan and then collect and hold that data until you go to a website or whatever. But within or even connect it to HueForge for that matter, and just say, hey, this is the hex code that I scanned off of object XYZ over here at Home Depot that I really like the color of. What filament matches that? Which, by the way, HueForge already has something like that built into the software, where when you load in an image and there's a color in that image, if you click on it or hover over it, it'll pop up a little window that says what the color hex code is in the image right there. And then if you right click, there's an option to find that color, find the closest match to that color of filament in your library. And so it'll scan through your library and find the closest.
Quick question, and if you've already answered this and I missed it, sorry. I've got like 25 people that are begging me to come back outside and hang out. So, so it's able to identify what? Are we talking about RGB blends? Or are we talking about shades?
TD1 is able to potentially able to extrapolate the color of the filament. How when light bounces off of that and you see a color, what color that is.
Yeah, it's
RGB based. Does it also detect luminosity? The intensity going through it?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what the idea behind TD1 is. So with HueForge, what matters is how much light penetrates through a given color, because however much light passes through is how much it's going to blend with the color below it, right? So if you have a filament that with 3.4 millimeter layers, it passes all the way through, then you're only going to see that color. But if you have a filament that at 3 layers, 50% of light goes through, you're going to see the color underneath mixing with it to your eye.
Yeah. I mentioned the process to him in the way in the beginning before he came out, released his software. I spoke to him and I recommended to him and to go to like a paint shop. They had those little color coordinators where you could bring your colors in.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And they would scan
That's what
the
I was
color
talking about.
And it would tell you exactly and be able to mix it for you the right color, and it tells you a whole bunch of lists, about this
It
color.
gives you very detailed report on what it's seeing. Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
there's a lot of open source options for getting color off of something. The challenge that I'm facing with TD1 is that we're trying to get color off of this big of a piece of something, right? And that's where the challenge is coming in. And so that's where playing with software a lot is what matters.
Can I give you a tip? Probably take a small amount of it, put it in a form, and then try melting it down and then taking it.
Yeah, that's a lot of work for
you might, if you did that, you might lose shadows. And I think that's where HueForge really benefits the best, is its ability to shade. And shadows and shades, I mean, are kind of like the basis of our vision. So if you can capture what those are doing, colors are really obsolete as long as you broadcast the proper luminosity between each of the shades. Now, if you bring color into it, it becomes vibrant. That's why, Ajax, I'm telling you, the idea of what you're talking about is shape shifting. I mean, it's strong, it's solid, but but everybody else has had a valid argument, or not argument, curiosity of why and where and hints and trips and whatever. But the deal is man, what you're trying to do, dude, is solid. Please keep it up.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
he
sure.
will.
That's definitely what I'm going for. But yeah, so to what Matt was saying though, the thought has crossed my mind that maybe the issue is not the hardware with some of the calculations I'm trying to do. Maybe the issue is how small of a sample I'm trying to get it off. So I actually made another version of TD1. I call it the TD1S. That's, if you see here, the opening's not for like a piece of filament. It's actually for these little swatches that are just like 0.6 millimeter thick that you can stick through to get a little bit bigger of a surface area to try to
That's
get
what I
light
was
through
trying to see.
and reflect light off of. So I'm using this as not as a product potentially, but as a way to help calculate what I'm supposed to be doing when there's a full strand of filament in.
You know, with the swatches,
What are
I
you
still
using
should
for your
think,
source? I'm sorry. Sorry. I
Uh,
didn't mean to interrupt that. That's more important. Go ahead.
no problem. With the swatches, that's a good idea. That's basically what I was trying to say.
Exactly. Yep.
But also have still the different layer height on it. You know, so you can scan the different layer height, at least 3 or 4 different layers, I would say, because I use similar system for lithophane making. Because not every white is white, you know.
Right.
And so I'm looking always for the perfect white. And so far, I only saw 3 companies who have good, or four now, companies who have good white, what makes a good lithophane.
Sure.
Otherwise, like Polymaker, Polylight is very good white. G-Tech white is good, but G-Tech have 2 different whites. So you have to be careful if you get the red, I call it the red filament, and the white filament. Because if you use a UV light on the white filament, it glows red. And if it's basically the good white, the white, then it glows white underneath, you know, like some t-shirt do under UV light, you know.
Mhm.
And it's just brilliant, the method. Every time I get a new roll of filament of white, I just go in a dark room and then blow a torch on it and see what actually the colors come out, you know.
Mhm.
The UV light tells you a lot.
Sure.
You know what? That's actually the same question I was getting ready to answer when I jumped in on you, and I did not mean to do that. But your
Problem.
source lighting. So, what you're designing for? Is the source lighting always going to be the same?
Yeah. So in my BOM, I specifically call out the LED that I'm using, and say that this is probably the one that you need to use as well. Otherwise, it can alter your results, right? So the one I'm programming around is just one of these open source Adafruit NeoPixels, essentially, that has RGB and W LED on it.
Because backing up what he was saying is and I do this too, and I don't do a lot of Hue Forge. I have Hue Forge, I love it, but dude, lately I've been overwhelmed by novelty crap. That's what I've been printing. I mean, it's been nonstop. So,
right.
But I want to move back into the Hue Forge side of it now, and I love working with shadows. Now you're offering is actually a way to extend that, and then but it backs it up with, I test it with different lighting from just a standard, cold comfort LED all the way up into the UV range. And it's amazing what your filaments will actually broadcast. What they allow through.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what they reflect, but what they allow through, because that gives you your depth and your shadows.
Yeah, one light tells a different story than the other light.
Absolutely, without question.
You can see they use a similar system to view stars, like to see if other stars have like a certain gas on there, or
that's why we use radio telescopes.
Chemicals, Yeah,
exactly.
what
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
mean
about.
that's why we use radio telescopes to see what's going on. And in a sense, of course, we're limited to the visual part of the spectrum, for the most part. But lights outside of the spectrum will actually tell you what's going on in chemistry, and that allows you to make some really weird like density changes to get shadows and shades. And that's the few things I played with HueForge was the filament was critical, but I could change the density of it and actually alter what the luminosity of it was. So, what you're talking about, Ajax, may add that extra variable to make that thing happen for depth. I don't know if that's the right word for it. I don't even know what to call that. I don't know, dude. You're onto something. I'm excited. I haven't been excited about anything in a long time. I love this.
Yeah, it's been kind of
I
fun.
was going to bounce
And
into this conversation and bounce out because
No, you're
I'm
good.
being beckoned from a bunch of different directions, family crap, that normal stuff. But you caught my attention with that. This is what I grew up doing. I'm a. It's really hard to explain what I am because when I started doing this, it didn't exist. I started working with lasers back in the 80s. I worked for Lawrence Livermore Labs, and the stuff we did was just. If you guys just want to hear the stories, I'll tell you about them. They're entertaining. But it also proved to me I never worked for the government again. But the stuff we did there using lasers really opened my mind to what light can do. Not necessarily what we can see, but in general. So what you're doing kind of falls into what I did for a better part of my life. And you know what, dude? I wish you the best. If we never ever talk again, I hope whatever you're doing shows results. I hope you do whatever you can do with that.
Thank you. Yeah. So, but to your point, yeah, I haven't done printing much lately because I spend a lot of time sitting here writing code for this thing or troubleshooting or doing something new to try to better the firmware for it or to write some sort of like the latest thing I was doing was writing the software for I guess a framework of software for this for updating the firmware for when I release new versions. And so I wrote the framework because I think in the future that'll probably mostly be done through HueForge, just because 90% of people that are going to be using this thing off the start are going to be in HueForge, right? Everybody who's got interest is because the whole reason it even exists is because it was like, oh, we're doing this manually by printing something. We should be able to do that digitally, right? And so that's where it's starting, right? So eventually there will be a standalone updater and like a data viewer. So when you scan these things, it doesn't have to go directly to HueForge, but in its initial like production release, it will communicate directly with HueForge so that when you put in a filament, it opens up the library to add a new filament, and you say who the manufacturer is, what the material is, what the name of the color is, and then you upload it into your library, and then you have it there.
Yeah, but
how are you going to figure for inconsistencies? I'm sorry, I stepped on somebody.
Recheck it each time.
Meaning, like if you scan it one time and it's not right, so you scan it again, or like you scan it, you go and print and it's not right, and you scan it again and it's different than the first time.
I believe this CMYK colors, what you get for a normal printer, you get now for the bamboo, and I believe with the same colors you should be able to create any color you want.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I believe other colors in the future will be obsolete compared to CMYK colors, because CMYK colors, I think if they're developed and like what you're doing, Ajax, the mixing ratio, this is very important because if you get the coloration right of the mixture of the CMYK, you get blue. I mean, any color you want, basically brown, green.
Yeah, you get the full color wheel available to you by mixing. Yep.
Yeah, and I think he should concentrate on this maybe instead of using all the colors, because all the colors is too much work, I think. Because if you can bundle it down to just like 4 or 5 colors, the core colors, it would be better than going through each color and then making decision, okay, if I mix brown and white together, I get that color, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, well, I mean, so all of that is being done on HueForge's side, and that's Steve that wrote that. And so that is, I see where you're going with it. But what Steve is doing is it opens a world of possibility that otherwise isn't there, right? Because the way HueForge is working is you're not actually
right
mixing CMYK. And you actually you can't, right? And with it, because you have to be able to layer, because the way HueForge works is you aren't mixing in one layer, you're mixing by stacking layers.
Yes.
And so you're able to
Same
achieve
thing with lithophane making.
So
the true color lithophane making.
In the future, Steve's plan is to have per layer swaps to blend colors to get more colors out of it. But I think the idea there is you don't want to force people into certain filaments. You know, because like me, I have hundreds of filaments. I have probably 200 filaments in my house. I don't necessarily want to have to say, oh, let me just buy these ones only now, because you're not always going to want that, right? So like it's good for HueForge, but if I wanted to just print a TD1 box out of a goldish color, I don't want to have to mix 4 different filaments during printing to make that happen. I want to just throw in a gold and print, right? And so, so the idea behind HueForge is just working with what you've already got, right?
The only thing that I can see is you can use the same technique then again once you make it flat. You know, right now we're printing always flat on the build plate, but I think the CMYK colors we can develop actually and make it into a 3-dimensional form, like any object we want to make.
Sure.
You know, like the model, like root the model, and it would come out same color everywhere, the same. But if you would cut it in half or quarter it, you would see all the different color layers inside.
Sure. Yeah, and I think that's the future as well. And I think what HueForge is doing makes it possible that you can achieve colors without necessarily having CMYK, right? Like you might have a blue, a yellow, and whatever, but you can mix those as well to achieve like obviously the color mixing gets more challenging, but
that's where Steve is completely brilliant. He got that to work. And there's truly a brilliance with that. You know, I mean, you're not wrong, but look, the CMYK is there's some solid. Look, I would love to see printers that we don't have to load filaments into, where we basically pour pellets into. And if we could use four of the mains, drop them in, and get any color blend we want, that's the end goal, right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And by all means, that'd be a great solution to have to be able to achieve anything you want.
We're not ready for it yet. No one can afford all the what it would take to make that happen. Right. So we are still limited to math and nerds like us.
Here's the problem with pellets. If you do it through an extruder like that and you don't have a perfect process, it will come out
terrible,
inconsistent. If you've ever looked up any of the big events,
I didn't mean we just pour pellets in and go. I meant a solid system that allowed it to be uniform and blend correctly. We just don't have that technology yet. But that would be the goal: is you just fill it like a dot not a dot matrix, what are the printer called? You drop the the color inkjet printer. Yeah. You know, so it's like an inkjet printer. You just load in your primaries and you tell it what to do, and it figures out the blend for you. We're just not there yet, but that is the goal.
Yeah, for sure.
That is the goal. Let's all get together and figure that out and forget about all the other crap.
to Justin's point, yeah, that is what's challenging about mixing pellets is
Yeah.
the shorter like so the way mixing pellets right now works when it comes to actually making filament is they run it through a lead screw, right, and a body, and they use the friction to melt it, and the length of your screw directly impacts how well those colors get mixed
I
together
actually
during the
saw filament
process.
at Printed Solid at Earth. I went out to Printed Solid on Monday.
Yeah, I was there just before you. I was leaving right as you were showing
I know
up.
you were
Yeah,
walking out as we were walking in. But yeah, no, it was really cool to see filament being made. And when you see it made, it changes how you see 3D printing, because now you understand even more than just printers.
Well, I've dealt with everything from high pressure injection to screw devices. Because I make sausage, it's the same process, and you're running it through a screw drive that's squeezing it through some type of an extruder, but the deal is this has been around for many decades. This isn't new technology. We're just adapting it to what we're doing now.
Yeah, it's essentially the same process they use for mixing colors for injection molding.
Yeah, the thing is, one is a liquid, one is a solid.
Yep.
The problem is we need to fix
you're right.
the solid.
When you see it, when you actually see it working, it kind of opens your eyes to, wow, okay, that's kind of a how it's made moment, right?
So,
guys, what we're talking about here, what Ajax is doing, I think goes beyond what we can see right now. This is why I'm pretty excited about this, guys. I do have to bounce, man. We got so much going on right now. We're frying turkeys, and my alarm went off about 2 minutes ago, so I need to go out and check it.
Go check the turkey.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we're doing 9 tonight and 10 tomorrow. So whatever. I mean, dude, I signed on for 2.
You don't want to have an extra crispy turkey.
I got to bounce. But Ajax, man, do not let this dream die. I think there's some validity there beyond just what we're talking about. I think it extends beyond this. So, yeah, have fun with this, guys. Y'all have a good night, man. I got to go do the, family whatever thing.
Have a good evening. Good chatting.
We'll see you later.
All right, you too, man. It was nice talking to you. Never actually met you before, so, privileged. Anyway, all right, guys, y'all have a good night. I'm Blazing, and we'll talk as soon as we can the next time.
Yep. See you later, buddy.
See you.
All right, bye.
Yeah, I was gonna pop in there and say, ask him if he knew how the sausage was made, but
right.
No, couldn't quite get that joke in there. He couldn't stop talking for a second.
But yeah, so I definitely have a lot of ideas for how this data that we're collecting can be useful outside of UForge, and that's why in the future there probably will be a way to use the data outside of it and to update it and to do different things. One thing that I've tossed around the idea of, and going to take a lot more than just what I've been doing so far. And one, it's going to need to be in a functioning state to really continue down the road, but potentially like integrating it into Clipper and or into a slicer. One thing I'd really like to do is integrate it through like Orca slicer so that you can essentially do what Bamboo is doing with RFID tags, but with direct colors instead. So like, for example, right now, if you load up a spool of Bamboo filament in a Bamboo thing, it reads the RFID tag and it says, oh, this is ABS black, right? Obviously, you won't be able to check from a sensor what kind of plastic it is, but you can get that color. And the color is what most people really even care about. Well, material as well, but color is one thing most people worry about in an AMS system is, what color do I have in channel 3? I don't remember. And so if you had I
always have to look into
color
my
sensor.
AMS units backwards.
Yeah. So if you had a color sensor, you could essentially put that on every AMS or every multi-material system to where you just feed when your auto sequence, when you load up a new spool, is just feeds that down into the color sensor, does a quick scan, and then puts that directly into Orca Slicer for you. Okay, channel 3 has blue.
Yeah. It would be basically part of the the intake system, I would make it like where the motor is, and then right after the motor, I have the color sensor.
Yep.
And the runout sensor and all that.
Yep, exactly. So,
but the color sensor can be used also for runout sensor. Then.
Yeah. Well, so there's also inside of here there's a switch to trigger when you put filament in. It could be used as to trigger your runout sensor. Also, no longer reading the color code or no longer reading the TD values could also trigger as a, oh, by the way, there's no longer filament in here. So yeah, to that point, I've actually made sure that I don't know if you guys know who Double T is and what he's working on, but he's making like a clone version of the AMS for Clipper. He calls it the KMS.
I will buy. I want that.
Yeah, I've seen his process. It's his product that he's working on, and it's
you
very
mean
impressive.
the one with the 6 spools?
With his it was just 4, but it's all auto feed and everything. It's almost identical to how the AMS works. You load a filament in, it does the load sequence, make sure it's ready to go on each one. And then when you select it, it automatically selects that one and pushes it down, almost identical to how the AMS works. And so I actually made sure he had the bomb and everything so that he can get one of these in his hand and play with it as well, because I do think that that's a potential future for TD1 is to be on a multi-material system like that where you can scan the color. The problem there is like I said, it's going to be a process to get from TD1 into like probably Moonraker for Clipper and then all the way to Orca Slicer. In order to do all those things, I have to work with Clipper to get it to where Clipper can do anything with the data, and then I have to work with Orca Slicer so that Orca Slicer can do anything with that data as well. So it'll be a process, but that's the end goal for that side of things. I think it'd be really cool. But
then your printers can then go, Dave, I can't do that. You don't have any blue. You do black.
yeah, exactly. And you can be smart about it, kind of like how Bamboo already is, right? Where they scan the RFID tag, but in this way you can just have it where you know which color. Obviously, to put what filaments you have or what type of filament, ABS, PLA, whatever. But when you're multicolor printing, that's usually the thing that you do, right? Is you put them all in, and then you go sit down to try to put in what colors you put in. And you go, oh, crap, what order did I put them in?
Yeah. So you're kind of like the palette where when you go to put it in there, you start the print, and it says put color blue in this one, red in this one, orange, and you all the way through. So basically, kind of like that, but
yeah, kind of. Well, like, do you have a Bamboo?
No.
Okay, so the way that their AMS system works, it works end to end with the slicer, right? So you pop in a Bamboo blue, and it scans that RFID tag that's on the spool, and it goes all the way to the slicer, and it says, "Hey, there's blue filament in channel 1." Right. And so if you hit the button in slicer, it'll say like resync with the AMS, and it'll automatically load those colors as what's there in the slicer for you. So essentially you could do that same thing, right? Where you've loaded in all your colors. Say you have a nine color ERCF. You would have to have obviously a Clipper macro so that when you load these, it goes through and scans them and logs what colors where, but then Clipper would be able to communicate that to Orca and just say, okay, yeah, so channel 1 through 9, here's the colors you have there. And then you would just resync it as well. Like essentially all that infrastructure is already there in Orca Slicer because it's a fork of Bamboo Slicer. So my guess is they would just have to remap where the data is coming from. Instead of coming from an RFID tag, you're reading that from TD1. And so then you could put that data into what's where. But
yeah, I just got my third Bamboo this week or a couple of days ago.
Nice.
Yeah. I
have 3X1Cs now as well.
Yeah.
I have the P1P, 2 of them, and
nice.
P1S.
Those are awesome.
Like my wife likes to call it piss.
That's funny. The P1S, that's funny.
My first Bamboo will be here the second Tuesday of next week. So
nice.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day there'll be a Bamboo in the collection. Just not right now.
Sell some of your printers.
I'm building another printer though.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got printers that should be printing things, but I haven't sat down long enough to focus to actually start printing things. So
This is a 350 Trident kit.
See, that's the difference between you and me.
I know you don't like
Dan,
to-
you're a tinkerer, and
I love
I'm more
this.
of a.
I love this. So it's a white frame, all black parts. Every printed part on this printer will be black,
Nice.
which is
Nice.
clean look. A whole bunch of mods because of course. And I think I'm in it to about $1,200. And I did
Nice.
come with an ERCF 12 color kit.
Nice.
Wow.
Fun with that. If I ever
One-
actually decide to use it.
Yeah, the one
I
thing
have a
about the
12
ERCF that kind of bothers me, or that's a pain for me, and why I don't use mine on my Voron a lot, is the spool management. It's just so much of a pain. Like I
Yeah,
have a
they've
9
got
color, and
some
it's like, where the hell
newer
am I going to
stuff.
stick 9 spools? And then what am I going to do about the buffer solution? Like,
The buffer solution's gotten better. It's a lot like what Prusa has done with the buffer system, where it just sits on top of the printer and you can fit 12 buffers in this space. And then
That's
you just
good.
have to have a feed system, like rep boxes or whatever. And so
yeah, it's been a minute since I've looked at it. But
better.
it is
Have
on
you
my
looked-
list of things to do to probably completely rebuild my Voron 2.4. Now that I have a really good printer,
Yeah.
reprint all the parts and rebuild it, and then rebuild the RCF that's with it.
Have you looked at the trad rack?
Yeah. The new Annex Trad Rack that's coming.
Yeah, basically, you take the ERCF, you just throw it in the trash, and you go do that because it's just way better.
Yeah. I might
At Murph, there were I saw a handful of ERCFs around. None of them were on a printer printing. 2 trad racks in beta. Both of them were printing and printing away with multiple colors. So
Wow.
just
I
gives
may
you,
end up flipping for that, but we'll see.
yeah. But it's kind of the same deal where it doesn't really have like a buffer system type thing. But that's you probably just use what's ERCF has because it probably.
And that's why I really
Not
want
a
what Double T's
tripod.
working on, because that is
Oh, that's
motorized
right.
and it re-spools
here
after
comes
every
trouble.
use.
What's going on, tripod?
Just
Hey, troublemaker.
listening.
Oh, you
Yeah,
sound
John?
down. You okay?
Sir, he's angry about the shopping cart still.
Why? What
You
happened with the
got
shopping
one
cart?
guy on it that was like, "Listen here, Mr. Mail Karen. That's what employees get paid to do, is to put them back." Like,
When you're done with the goddamn cart, you put it in the corral, and that's what you do. That's you're an
Yeah.
asshole if you don't. Like even if it's not
No.
even in a handicap spot, like if you're just leaving it in the middle of the parking lot,
no,
you're an
Yeah.
asshole. Like that's
No.
not being a Karen. That you're just
no,
That's all you
All
are.
you need to do is, if you get a cart, just look around and then.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I mean,
it's I've heard it. Sorry.
I was just
No,
gonna say,
it was just it was very specific in the handicap area. You lazy fucks. Sorry.
yeah
but,
yeah.
you know,
There was like 4
with-
carts in there. Like
one time I put behind someone's car that did it. So
Good.
it was when I was younger. I was
Matt German, don't you guys call those buggies where you're at?
No.
You don't call them buggies, you call them carts. Okay. I kind of
No.
forget where I forget where in the globe there are certain areas that don't call them carts, they call them buggies.
Probably South Africa, I think. I mean, South Africa,
Yeah,
they
pizza.
call stoplights robots.
Okay.
South Africa have a lot of weird names for different things.
Yeah.
I've heard that putting the shopping carts away is a very basic test, as if you're a good person or a jerk, because there's no consequence of not putting the cart away, besides just your own morality.
Yep.
Right.
Sounds
Someone
about
actually
right.
posted that on
Maybe you
there.
should put like a pound coin inside or something like
what
Like-
Aldi does.
Yeah,
yeah.
Aldi does that, so they don't have to pay people to put the carts away.
Yep.
Again, it was my gripe was that people disrespecting it and throwing it into handicap zones where people
Yeah.
are physically hard to usually get in and out of cars, and now they can't even go park in that spot. So that's
But Justin, you were talking about fun printers. I have so many fun printers I want to make that I have floating around my head. I just don't have the time to do it.
Right. Yeah. I'm just finding the time for this as I can.
I have the
Mhm.
the tilting Voron printer, the crooked crow
Yeah.
that I need to finish.
That
And then
might we might have to talk about that. I might want to modify one.
And then I have an idea for a super fast, super light printer that like should be able to move faster than any other printer out there so far. That the only moving parts are 2 carbon fiber tubes and the hot end itself, and a Bowden
So you're
tube.
thinking like the Annex K3 but faster.
Yeah, it's going to use air bearings.
Matt, how did you print your egg there? Is that 2 halves that are glued together?
No, I printed it like this.
Just like that? Wow, that's pretty
Nice.
impressive.
And he laid it too.
Wow.
Don't ask me how.
Yeah, it took a lot of effort.
There's a lot of grunting.
Some sort of hen joke in there somewhere.
Right?
I would have said the COCK joke, but
Man, does this bed take forever to heat up on this Neptune 4 Max?
Yeah.
Oh my
It's a
god.
big bed. Is it it's a 120? Is it a 240 volt bed though? Or is it 120?
It needs to be an AC bed on that thing,
Yeah.
man. This is just. Oh, finally. Doing
I've been
something.
printing my own Jurassic Park logo.
Oh yeah,
Sounds like you're
that.
having a homing issue.
That sounds great.
Well, it wasn't Elegoo, so
That's beautiful.
Quality right
You
there.
hear that?
That's just
Oh,
the
yeah.
input shaper, right?
No, it's got
Kidding.
Is it the T500?
It's got 2209s in it. It's got
the
So-
standard.
That's the T500, isn't it?
it's the
No, you're not.
Elegoo.
You're thinking of the Comgrow, Matt.
Yeah, I'm
So
getting
it's
one.
got-
That's not it.
It's got no limit switches, so it uses sensorless homing, and sometimes it doesn't work. This is,
Yep.
You have
this
to
is going to
adjust
be such an awful
It's running
review.
Clipper, right? Is
Well,
it
yeah,
it's
it's
running
running Clipper.
Clipper? If it's running Clipper and sensorless homing are not good friends.
No.
So-
Marlin works much better for sensorless homing. You can tune it with
I won't run sensorless
M50906.
homing with Clipper.
If it's Clipper and it's sensorless homing, it's just a matter of playing around with the settings until you get it happy. And
Yeah, but this is a factory.
We're just
print.
talking
I think it would be
out of the
honest.
box, though.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
out of the
yeah,
box.
out of the
it is-
box,
it
they
should
need
just
to
work.
work on their config file
Okay,
a little bit more.
So it has an inductive probe, right? And you hear the nozzle hitting the bed.
Yep.
I mean, this is just awful.
So it's if the nozzle's hitting the bed, obviously homing is coming in way too fast for the sensor to pick up the fact that it's getting close to the bed. So they either need to just turn it down or they need to. I mean, realistically, they just need to turn it down.
That printer shouldn't even be sitting on his table there until
Yeah.
that shit's fixed. Like
Yeah.
that's just typical Chinese bullshit.
Yeah,
right there.
they need to turn down the Z homing speed so that it's not coming down faster than the sensor can pick up the signal, or get a better sensor that can pick it up quicker. And then again, yeah, just they
Or
need to
ship a
dial in
working
the.
project.
Well,
Yeah.
the problem with all this, with the sensorless and inductive and stuff, as you guys all know, is every motor's inductive value or Henry's value is different. Every motor's resistive value is different. Every inductive sensor is a little different. Every bed's a little different. So what they really need to do is spend a couple days and make a good tuning initial turn on self-calibration program.
Like a
That
PIT
would
program.
You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like it costs money.
Everything costs money, Dan. Come on.
But I'm just saying, it sounds like it costs money, and the more they spend, the less they put in their pocket, especially when they're doing that race to the bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
Good old
Like
race
right
to the
now,
bottom.
I updated everything to the latest and greatest firmware, and then it wouldn't. It made me reflash the screen too. I can't roll it back to the previous version because they don't have it on their site. And after I updated the screen, it lost 50% of its screen mesh
Wow.
too.
Yeah, Elegoo definitely needs to take that printer off the market.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. I think I'm actually going to bounce pretty soon. My wife is being incredibly patient, but she's
Yeah.
sending me memes of somebody bored waiting.
Yeah, my wife doesn't send those to me. She just reads.
Well, my wife wanted to spend tonight with me watching a show, so yeah.
Well, what?
Oh, you gotta be with the Hallmark channel.
What was that?
The Hallmark channel.
Yeah.
Heck no. Heck no. We watched One Piece, the live action, and now we're into like episode like 600 or something like that in One Piece.
It's a lot of episodes.
She binge watches it. I like to sit in there next to her watching it too, but
Yeah,
I
they're
typically
at like
adjust
what,
that when I'm
1,200 now?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I'd be bored out of my mind.
It's a pretty good show.
Not bad, yeah. It was fun watching the live piece and then the how they interpret it for the actual show. It was pretty good. But anyways, that's not 3D printer related, so that's not why we're
That's
here.
okay. We're here to hang out.
Well, here's something to kind of tie that into 3D
There you
printing.
go.
If you're a part of the Coax Facebook group, there's a guy that's been trying to push his 3D models on there. I think they're just stolen from somewhere. I actually don't know this, but they're pushing the sale of these 3D models. They're Pokemon. Some of them I think are Pokemon mixed with. Oh, did you just bump yourself?
I sneezed. That hurt.
Ah.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
And if anybody doesn't know, he went Superman after hitting a deer.
Oh yeah.
on a motorcycle.
Yeah. I was going 50. Broke my
Oh,
collarbone,
man.
internal bleeding. I was not in good shape. So
That's
that
no
hurt.
fun.
No, not at all. My poor Ducati is pretty sad too.
Yeah, they don't fare well with sudden stops.
No.
Motorcycles never do though.
No. I
I
killed the
never
buck, though.
crashed mine, and I don't have one anymore, so
That's probably for the best.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I live out in the country, and he just ran out from behind trees. I did the math. I had less than a half second to react before I hit him going 50. So,
That sucks.
yeah.
You probably would have been better off hitting them square on instead of clipping them, though.
Right.
No, I hit him square on.
Oh, you hit him square on?
I hit him right behind his front shoulder on the right-hand side. Killed him on impact. Degloved his one of his legs from sliding on the pavement. Like all that was left was bone on one
I
leg.
told him to fill his freezer up with it.
Dude, I was in the hospital for 3 days. By the time I
Yeah.
got back, the vultures had cleaned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have stayed with the kill.
I left my bike in the ditch, man. The best I did was just turn it off. I didn't have my shoe on when I left the scene of the accident.
Damn.
You able to get your shoe back?
I was holding it.
Oh,
I didn't want to bend over to put it on. It would have hurt too much.
Right.
But
That's
How are
unfortunate.
you
No.
feeling now?
I'm feeling better. I sneezed and I hurt myself sneezing,
Oh.
so that's why we're
Yeah.
talking about it. Yeah. But I assume everybody except for maybe Ajax in the stream is seeing what I do. But I can go grab one real quick if you guys are curious.
Ajax was
I got an older one on the shelf.
You got a really old one. You got the old like legacy baby belt. What 8?
It's
or
got
9?
it's got the little bed underneath it, so it's got the
The
little
underbelt?
yeah. So it's got the bed underneath the belt.
Yeah, but you got the spring-loaded underbed, so that would have been version 9, I think.
9. Okay.
Because version 10 got the drop-in underbed, and then version 11 got rid of the worm gear. And then I went to the Pro, and I'm going to make a cheaper version of the Pro and just call it the baby belt again. But I've called that what you have there now, the Legacy,
Very nice.
because I'm not doing the 28 BYJ 48 motors anymore.
So the
For
gutless,
obvious reasons.
gutless, toothless wonders.
Well, they
At least in mine.
quickly. Yeah, they tooth out quickly. If you get them perfect on the first try, they're great. If you have to fiddle with them to get them going, they strip. So,
Before we get you into any more trouble, you should probably skedaddle.
Yeah.
yeah, she should just message me saying 30 minutes.
How are you getting along with the printer? With the new one, what we're making?
Oh, the Crooked Crow.
Yeah.
I haven't done much with it in the last couple days.
Yeah, I expected.
'Cause
Don't worry about it. Just take
No,
care
no.
of yourself.
I'm just pushing Baby Belt Pro real quick, trying to get a couple more quick little dev things done. Then I'm gonna move to it. But I've made progress. I got it to print, just not the variable gantry angle. And then I found that Clipper supports a variable rotary sensor,
Yeah.
an angle sensor digitally over SPI. So I'm rewriting a second copy of the MedBesh leveling algorithm so that I can tie that into that sensor. So it levels the bed, sees what level that sensor is, moves the gantry to the position that I tell it based on steps and positions, and then it verifies that the gantry is at that angle. So that way, too, when it goes to home, it can go, hey, I'm going to crash if I try to home now. I need to put the gantry a little more level.
Yeah.
So the idea of this is that it's a belt printer and an auto-ejecting Core XY, because you can tilt the gantry in the Voron to turn it into a belt printer. And that gets around all the patents and stuff.
My idea.
Well,
And you're the engineer.
Matt, yes, we came up with the idea together. Your idea was that to change the angle of the print head on the gantry.
Yes.
Yes, and I went, why can't we just tilt the whole damn gantry and make it a belt printer that way instead of doing like complex math with the nozzle's at this angle. Now we have to move the gantry up and down and around to make it a belt printer.
I just thought of the space, you know.
Yeah.
You know, what you have to move up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But,
No, absolutely. Our ideas mesh together to form this great idea. It's actually right out camera. It's right over there. But yeah, so I want to finish the Crooked Crow.
It should. I think it will reduce the needs for support by quite a lot percentage.
Absolutely, because if you can change the angle of the gantry on the fly as you're printing.
Yeah.
And
then you don't need support for certain areas anymore.
Yeah.
Even if there's an overhang like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The down term down, like if it's like this from there to there, and this is all in the middle of the air, it still have to start from there, but then print downwards. But this can be done with the angle. By moving. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Well, that, and if you want to print something like Thor's hammer, for example, you could print it up to the handle height as a Cartesian and then rack the angle and then print a really, really long handle until the hammer falls off the bed, basically. So
maybe have in the future like a extension on it, like what I've seen with the original belt from Creality. They had like a little rack system, little rollers on it.
Mm-hmm.
So people who were printing long prints didn't have at the end of the bed going like all of a sudden whoops and take it off the build plate, you know.
Well, it's still in advance. That's just so really long prints as they hang off the end of the printer don't rack the belt up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make extended output rollers for the Baby Belt soon, for the Baby Belt Pro. I'm trying to make the Baby Belt Pro, the new series of it, to be completely modular, so you can take a frame and go, I want this piece, I want that piece, and choose like in between $130 Revo hot end or a Bamboo knockoff clone for $30, and just print the parts, and kind of like how Voron has, you know, like I want this tool head and that, except have it more customizable throughout all that.
Right.
Yeah. So that's going to be a thing maybe with this printer. I don't know. This is a one-off. But I'm going to obviously, Matt and I, we're going to figure out where to go from there with that. I've just so many fun ideas. I wish I had more time. That and auto loader for filament scraps and stuff like that. Just so many ideas. So little time.
You need to quit your main job and concentrate on everything else.
I wish I would have. I would if it paid the bills.
I know.
I have a Patreon. I have like 2 people on it.
Jeez.
That's 2 more than me.
Yeah. And
2 more than me too.
Anyways, guys, my wife is
wanting to strangle you.
No, she just wants to hang out with me. She's missing me, so I better bounce here, guys.
Like, hurry up! The Hallmark Channel's calling.
Bye, good sir.
Yeah.
No, not the Hallmark. The Crunchyroll channel. So, anyways, guys.
Rob,
Have a
happy
good one.
Thanksgiving.
See you.
We'll see you next
Fun.
week.
Happy
Thanks, you too,
Thanksgiving.
Dustin.
Bye.
Good luck.
Nice to see you all.
See you
Nice to meet you,
Saturday, I
Jack.
hope.
Good meeting you, Rob.
See you later, Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
want? I don't know if you'll see me Saturday or not. I'll have to think.
Are you
Anyways.
going to Smurf?
I'm not going to Smurf. No, but
I'm going to
I have
Smurf.
reserved a table. Justin's smiling.
I know. It'll be at Rocky Mountain. So will Tripod. So will Ajax. There's a lot of sponsors on this chat. What the hell?
That's great. That's the way it should be.
Right?
You know who's not a sponsor?
Oh,
Well, you know,
Shut
Matt,
otter.
we have some silvers open if you want to, you know.
see you guys.
See you
Have a
later.
good one.
Yeah, have a good one. Sometimes very difficult time to get my words out of my mouth.
Right.
It's like a brain fog. Maybe because I'm tired, or I put it down to that mostly. Because I don't sleep well lately, and when I do sleep well, it's rarely. So, sadly, I have too much insomnia.
Right.
Smiley? Hot
Smelly?
potatoes?
I don't know who
Smelly.
Hojo Potatoes is, but
Finally.
Swanton 2 gaining sponsors for the event, even now.
I need to talk to Nick soon.
Polymaker Nick?
Yeah.
I need to bug him. He needs more sponsors.
Yeah, I need to get some white filament, and because everywhere else here in Europe, it's like I can't get any white filament to make lithophanes. I have no. Look, my machines are idle. They don't do nothing right now because I'm out of white. I have one white roll left, but this is the bamboo spool white, and I want to save that one for certain projects, But.
Yeah,
Nothing I can do.
Nick still owes me like $600 worth of filament, but I haven't cashed in.
Yeah, I haven't seen my my sponsorship money from Earth yet. And then the winning the drag racer third place thing.
Oh, that
Yeah.
Polymaker's so far behind.
Yeah.
I'm bugging him because stuff for Rocky Mountain. I'm like, dude, you need to make sure you guys have a sponsorship. He wants one. I'm just like, there's money involved too.
I'm trying to work with him for some stuff relating to TD1 as well, and it's pretty challenging to get a hold of him right now. Which I mean, I get it. He's moving across the country, or across the world, I should say. But,
Yeah. It's not an easy job with doing it with a family and a kid.
Yeah.
So. I'm getting a lot of like for my post for my Velociraptor egg.
Yeah,
That's
I know
awesome.
Nick is moving. It's just little.
This is a lithophane.
Yeah. I think I saw it on Twitter, on X.
On X? Really? I didn't put it on X.
I'm
Somebody
pretty
else
sure that's
must-
where I saw it, or maybe it was. Did you post it in the
Facebook.
Polymaker Discord?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Probably make
I saw
a
it
Discord.
somewhere.
Yeah. Probably make a Discord.
It all blends together
Polymaker.
sometimes, but yeah, I know I saw it somewhere.
So, yeah. I put it under lithophanes.
That's probably where I saw it then.
That is,
Okay, my ADHD is now done. I put those spool holders on, even though I said I was only going to stick around until they were done printing. They're done printing, and I put them both on. I still have to find one M5 T-nut. Out of all the T-nuts I have a bunch of M3s, M4s, but no M5. So I gotta get some M5s now, and then I can put the second one in on the spool holder on the bear.
This has got to be a spammer over here. Ojo Potato. Let's see who you are. Do we know you? No timeouts, no bans.
Ojo Potatoes.
Not sure who he is.
Yeah.
But he's behaving
I know.
weird questions. We'll keep an eye on
Actually,
Unless you know who that is.
the answer to that is yes, because if you guys remember Murph 2 years ago, there was the gentleman that was walking around with the different scents in front of his face, and depending on what he was doing, the odors or the smells from within the game that would be, or whatever was on the screen, it would blend those different odors to make whatever that smell was supposed to be. So I would assume that would be something that can be done, since it has been.
Well, so you're talking about
Yeah.
producing smell, though, right? So he's asking if you
Well-
can sense smell, which I mean, they're similar, I guess, but it's just in sensing it.
But yeah, this would be producing the smells that would be being told to the computer. So the computer would have to have a way to, know what the smell should be, whether it be through a program or some kind of a sensor that would pick up an odor and then be able to reproduce
The
it. So-
military can. Chemical warfare. They'll do it there. They have testing
Oh,
machines
so you're
like
talking
that.
about hard-boiled egg and baked bean day in the mess hall?
Max beaning or bean maxing. That's what it is. Bean maxing.
Yeah, bean maxing. Yeah. Chemical warfare.
I love that meme.
Matt, in case you don't understand what we were saying there, to help break it down, when you eat hard-boiled eggs, it tends to cause some gases to build up inside, and then when you
I have no
amplify
problem with
that
gas.
with
I don't
baked
torch.
beans, well,
I take medication that takes away
Yeah,
the
but
force.
you might be the only one. Other people might have gas.
but there's a lot of people in the world that they if they really want to get back at someone, that's their go-to is hard-boiled eggs and baked beans, and then hang out with their
Yeah, that's
enemies
what I
for
feed
a
my
while.
dog.
That's my cats, man. My cats, whenever they get scared, they let one go, and it never fails. They always pick when they're sitting next to you on the armrest on the couch, or next to you on the couch. When somebody bangs a wall, they up and take off, and it's like that little push of gas helps shoot them away quicker, and it leaves you to go, I don't remember why I have so many cats. Why? I mean, don't get me wrong. Those times where you're just curled up next to me, purring, and I'm petting your head, and I'm relaxed, and you're relaxed. Those are good times. But it's that
We
little.
know that you're a cat hoarder.
My wife,
I went to the cat place the other day,
You
and a
seen
cat
the
came
cr-
up near
You
me
seen the
just to fart and then walk away.
you seen the crazy cat lady? Meet Dan, the crazy dead person.
no. It's
Yes,
my wife. Okay, Ajax. Since you're kind of new to the group, I'll fill you in. The Crazy Cat Lady starter set is 4. So when my wife and I got together, she had a cat, I had a cat. There's 2. We're close, right? Then 2 more showed up. So now she has her Crazy Cat Lady starter set. Well, then she somehow wound up with another Crazy Cat Lady starter set, and that wasn't enough. So she
8.
ended up with a 3rd Crazy Cat Lady starter set. So there could very well be, depending on how your math works, there could be 12 cats in my house, one dog, and I have 4 daughters that are living at home and 3 sons that do not. So, yeah.
4 daughters. Damn.
Yeah. The oldest daughter is now 18, has a boyfriend, and spends most of her time not at home. The 17-year-old, 14-year-old, and 11-year-old daughters are all still at home pretty much all the time. So,
In some countries, they would be married off already.
my sons, they turned 18 and were like, "Bye, Dad."
Yeah.
They all. Yeah, my youngest son is my oldest son is renting an apartment, works as a diesel mechanic, and makes pretty good money. Every time they offer training, he takes it, gets a raise. So he's doing the thing. He's got a girlfriend now. He's doing his thing. The second oldest son is working for a company that does, the bean pickers on the front of combines, the big bean pickers.
Yeah.
They build those. So that's what he does. He works on those, building those. He's making some pretty good money. He lives with his roommate, who is his ex-girlfriend.
And I have a girlfriend too.
Yeah, they signed they signed on the lease. They moved in, and like within a month they broke up. And since they're both on the lease, and it's a 3-bedroom house, he took a room, she took a room, and they just do their own thing. It's like, if it works, it works. Okay. And then my youngest son is in the process of buying a house right now. He's trying to get all the paperwork the bank keeps asking for, because every time he turns around, he produces the paperwork, hands it to him, and then they say, okay, now we need this, 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 and this. So
homes are not affordable here to buy in England. Here in England, homes are so expensive.
Mhm.
I mean, the government stopped building houses, and so the house prices go up and the rent prices go up.
Yep.
And we're getting more and more people in the country, and the thing is, we live in a home where sorry.
Yeah, kind of going into the depressing spot right there. Kind of want to answer 3DHP there. Asking about what John's working on. It's a POS Elegoo printer that they can't figure out the firmware for.
Yeah,
so
they typical Elegoo fashion. We'll just beta test our customers, so we'll throw them out to them and let them tell us what's broken.
Hey, I have to say though, I had good luck with their last two. This one, not so much.
No, yeah, the new, what is it? Which one's the new FDM they came out with, the 4s, the
This is the 4, right?
Yes. Yeah. But because like the 4 is decent. It's based off of the 3, so still a pretty solid machine. They just clipperized it and said, here you go. And they didn't do bad, but with that big machine, I think they're still trying to run off the same numbers that the standard Neptune runs off of, and not right for that big of a machine. There's more mass moving, and you got a farther distance to travel. So they either need to, like I said, they need to go in and set those stall voltages, adjust the sensitivity on those for your X and Y, and then on the Z, they need to slow that Z homing down, because that's a lot of weight coming down, and they're not taking into consideration all that weight moving down. It's going to take longer to stop when that sensor gets to the bed, so they need to move that slower. Which, again, you get a big printer because you want to print big things, not because you want to print fast. So they need to quit worrying about speed and worry more about accuracy.
So wait, you're saying they're homing the Z with sensorless?
No, the Z's got a probe on it, but the probe, the nozzle's touching the bed before the probe is it's actually stopping the whole Z carriage from from dropping down. So it's all in. They're just coming down too quick that much mass is not able to stop before that nozzle smacks the bed.
Yeah, it's like trying to measure flow on a garden hose with like a tiny little sensor, right? You need a bigger sensor to sense what's happening.
Yeah, they either need to put a bigger sensor,
slow it down so that they can actually.
Yeah, it has time to react.
Making sense.
Yeah, I know. Again, though, I'm glad that you're the beta tester on that one and not me, because I would just go in and change the stuff and tell them this is what I did, and then they would just take it and go make the changes and not give me any credit for it, because that's how they are.
Here's another printer that the reviewer beta tested.
Thanks, Shane. Rub it in that I'm waiting for parts for one of those. However, there might be a guy in chat that might, I say might with a big capital might, be able to help me out with my current dilemma with this one right here.
Well, just come pick it up.
Right. There you go. So,
all right, we'll see what happens. Maybe if you're not, I know it's a holiday weekend, so I don't want to intrude, but maybe Saturday, Sunday, if you're not doing anything, I'll take a road trip, come up.
Yeah, let me know. It's yours.
Yeah. All right. Well, then that's good to know, because I'll just take that one down and set it aside. And if they ever get back to me about replacement parts, then I will put that one back together and give it away.
Yeah, I put a clipper screen on mine. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So that's right. Yeah, you did, because the videos. That's right. Duh, I'm an idiot. I forgot you did. If you want to take that off and keep it for something else, go ahead.
Nope. No? I'm all good.
Come join us, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry, hop on.
Yeah, Jerry, get your butt in here. Look, I even said butt. I'm being good for Justin's stream. I haven't said any swear words this whole stream, and everybody else is.
you want.
No, not everybody else. Ajax has been pretty good over here. Tripod had his shopping cart tangent.
I dropped the first F-bomb in the chat, so
Mhm.
well, not in the chat, but in the stream.
Yep. We had a good one lined up. Justin didn't hit go live fast enough.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm not gonna run Linux, well at least it would work.
Right.
At least it would fucking work. That's what it was.
That's what. Yeah.
I gotta figure that out this weekend, but
Yep. You're in the bedroom watching TV. Well, as long as you're only showing it from the chest up, we're good. We don't care what's going on down there.
Yeah,
John
make sure
Mack-
it's right up here, right there.
Yeah, John Mack has been more than happy to join people on streams in far more precarious ways, I'm sure. Actually, I know he has some hot tub streams and come up.
Dan,
there.
you gonna take over Hot Makes?
Let's
Yeah,
just say
what's going on with Hot Mix?
They're taking a
done.
break.
they're taking some time off because doing it pretty much consistent since 2019. They're seeing the tolls it's taking, and they're realizing that they're not able to give it what the show. They're not giving the show what they feel the show needs, and they don't feel that it's right. So instead of doing a weekly show, they're going to take a break till after the first of the year, and then come back with a better plan as to is it going to be every 2 weeks, every once a month, how they want to work it. And in the meantime, they're also talking to some other people about, I guess, the possibility of maybe having other people host the show periodically, so they can still have their breaks and stuff. They want to see how things play out over the next month and a half. I did reach out to both of them and let them know that I'm here to help in any way I can, no matter what that means. Let me know. But I also don't want to put myself in a position where I commit to every single Monday, 6 p.m. I don't want to put myself in that situation. You guys watched me up and down trying to keep a weekly schedule of 3 days a week, and
they definitely mentioned that quite a bit there at the end there, where it's like, yeah, we're not doing it every week anymore. Like that I think that was like very that if I were to take anything away, like that, they're not doing it every week anymore.
Yeah.
Not unless they have other people doing it in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, if they had a steady rotation of hosts that, like, the first Monday of every month, this person hosts it, the second Monday, this person.
It's not even the hosting part of it; it's the stuff behind the scenes that's also taking its toll. Because if you're trying to get all of that information together every single week, that's that could be a full-time job sometimes.
Oh,
yeah, and even
there's going to be times of the year where it's going to be dry, like it's.
We have less people in the community active during the summer months in the states on stateside because they're mostly out doing things with family or whatever. Mm-hmm. So those 3 months roughly is a pretty dry spell for makers. We're not really doing a lot of the making. It's this time of year now where everybody's going into Hobbit mode, where you're at home, you're not really going out because the weather's getting crappy. You don't want to do anything, and that's where you start to see more creative stuff kind of flow.
Yep.
Yeah. John, I saw that timer there. Is that for the bed heat up?
Yeah, and then I'm going to see how long it takes to level. 140 points.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. They went with some insane.
That's a lot of. That's probably 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. With that bed being so damn big, they went with so many points because that's what, 500?
Was it 420, 420, 480?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 420, 420, 450 or whatever the hell it is.
480, yeah.
480, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
What are you going to print quick on it?
I really don't print much anymore.
Tripod, you could always print a YouTube Buddy to max size. You know what the YouTube Buddy is, right?
I'm going to grab it right now. Oh, I don't know where I put it. Oh, no.
Yeah, you could print a max size YouTube Buddy just for giggles every now and then. Sneak it into a frame or two in one of your up.
This is going to be so brutal. I don't watch any videos. It's been sitting for a month and a half because I was feeling like absolute crap,
Yeah.
and for almost 4 months with long COVID. So
Yep.
and
Yeah, it's good to see you're kind of back with it. You still seem a bit out of it.
no, that's because of the printer. I'm fine.
I
The
understand
printer's
how
just
that
got you
goes.
that flustered, huh?
Well, this guy
Well-
Dennis on X, he's like, oh, just put it in pro mode and unseat the sensor and put it back on because chances are I was crooked. So I did that. And put it in pro mode. Now you got all the bed mesh leveling back. So
Yeah, but that's all stuff you shouldn't have to be doing. You know what I mean? Like if this is supposed to be an out of the box consumer product.
and this is what's okay. The biggest problem with the community is, oh, why didn't you try that? Why didn't you try this? No, this is supposed to be an out of the box experience, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. People keep forgetting that. Okay, for those of us in the hobby, we tend to be tinkerers. So for us to get in and tinker, that's fine. But that's not your first person experience. Like here's somebody brand new to the hobby, buys this printer, gets it set up, goes to start a print, and everything falls apart. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to provide them with that kind of information, not the tinkerer side of it, which is like me, where I don't care. I'll open something up. If it doesn't work, I'll say, this is what I had to do to fix this, and I'll move on.
Yeah.
And that's where you're trying to give
Jerry's
them
in the lobby, Justin.
Oh, yep, got him. Jerry.
Hey, what's going on? Dan, don't you ever run out of breath or you
No.
got fresh batteries or what?
No, Jared, you came in as I sat down
Yeah,
and got fired back up.
exactly.
I was charging my batteries, working on some stuff back here. I was quiet, not saying nothing, and then my batteries were charged back up. So now I'm back in the chair talking and burning it off so I can go to bed.
All right, what's going on, everybody? How you doing tonight?
Yeah.
Hello, Ajax. I don't think I know you, do I?
No, I don't think we've met yet. How's it going?
All right. I do a weekly maker hangout every Saturday for the last couple of years. Yeah, I was wondering what happened to Jim. I heard you say that. I went to drop in a couple times on Monday and he wasn't there, so I figured he must have got burnt out and too busy with life. So
Yeah, him and Caleb both made it pretty clear that just the behind the scenes stuff, that it was taking away from their own personal stuff, and they weren't able to commit to the show as much as they wanted to, and they felt as though they were robbing us more than anything. So their takeaway is when they come back after the first of the year, we'll know more. Jim said just keep following him. He'll keep people posted on what the plan is, but it sounds like at least once a month they'll do a 1+ hour show, because if they're only doing it once a month and they do an hour and it's supposed to be an hour and they do a 2-hour show, people will want to hang on for that versus running the hour and a half and then you're trying to cram everything in there. Plus you got to work, plus you got a family, plus you've got any other side business things you're working on, and all these
Maybe
things.
better times too, instead of having an hour or two earlier, because that would help me out a lot. Because every time he streams, it's 12 o'clock at night.
Well, yeah, but they're doing it for the U.S. market more than anything.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, the takeaway, I think, Shane, you said it too, was that it's too much behind the scenes for them, and it's just been, like Jim said, he's been doing, in some way, shape, or form, he's been doing some kind of a community stream since 2019, and trying to keep that going weekly. It's taking so much out of him. If he can spend 3 weeks prepping for a 2-hour show and just put in, a little bit of time here and there over those 3 weeks, and then give us a 1 to 2 hour show, that's going to be a lot better for him, for if Caleb comes back, because Caleb right now is saying he's stepping away and will still, come in from time to time, whereas Jim's saying, I'm trying to figure it out. I'll let you guys know. Follow me, but most likely once a month, and we'll get, the other stuff figured out. So,
Ajax, where you live at? Where you from?
I live in Colorado.
Okay.
He's about half an hour from me.
I can throw a rock and hit Justin's house pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, we could play that whole, hand something to the next guy, just take half an hour.
Yeah, I live in Vegas.
Okay. I grew up in Mesquite.
Did you enjoy the weekend of traffic, Jerry? Or the months
Well,
of traffic?
I don't go many places. My son works at a major hotel, so He had to
That
park
had
at
to
the
have been
convention.
fun.
I said, well, how long did it take you to get to work? He said, well, once I drive to the convention center and park, then I got to take a tram and walk for another half hour to get to my job during all that.
Gotta love F1.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
$500 million was spent, but it was a big cluster for the first
I mean,
year.
I watched it.
Did they actually race? Because I saw
Oh, yeah.
something where they raced for like a little bit and then
Yeah.
like a
Thursday
pothole opened
night
up.
they raced,
That's
and I
Thurs-
could probably pull the video.
Yeah, Thursday night they hit a water
That was
cover. It popped up
hilarious.
underneath the car, put a hole in it, cost over $1 million in damage. But they should have thought about that in advance, about all those covers. And then the actual day of the race, they had all these old cars taking everybody around the track, and all old cars leak of some sort. Now you got a fresh track they're going to race on. You got oil on the ground, so now you got to try to clean that up. And, yeah,
They really. I mean, with all the manhole covers, and everything, it's not
Shane,
safe. I know
where's
it is
the
a
video,
safety issue.
right?
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's just like
Boom.
for
yeah,
those
one
that
car
haven't-
hit it, and the other one ran over.
Yeah.
Ran
Oh,
over.
you're going over a
Yeah,
manhole cover. The
Yeah, and it was
next-
like this big too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
not very big.
200 is gonna
Yeah.
suck it right up, you know.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying they should have. It's a safety hazard, and I get that. But for the event, they should have had somebody come out there and tack weld all those covers
There's
down.
Well, they
There's a
did.
huge-
They cemented
huge-
them in that
There's a
night.
huge lawsuit going on from Thursday night because when this happened, everybody had paid all this big money sitting in the stands that wanted to see all this qualifying, sat there. And then after about 3 hours, they figured they were going to do it, but it got pushed back further. And the
Yep.
people that are hired to watch this event and police everybody got sent home because their shift was over. And they had to call on Metro to remove everybody in the stands that paid all this money in the middle of the night. And now there's a huge lawsuit going on with all these people trying to get compensation for them for getting screwed over. But things happen. That's just life. Events get canceled. You don't always get your money back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it is what it is.
Lessons learned for next time.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do that again.
That's why you
Yeah.
don't have governments, local or federal, run anything.
Right.
Yeah, John, I'm still waiting on an updated tracking for that fiber, but that's so cool. I'm finally getting a fiber laser.
That's amazing. Congratulations,
So-
bud.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
happier
Awesome.
than hell about it.
Yeah, it's,
I'd love a fiber laser. I have a CO2 laser that I can't even run though because I don't have the space for it.
I used
Oh,
to have
I-
a K40 and I sold it. It was too small.
yeah, I had to redo the whole garage for one laser.
The K40 is good for little stuff and it will cut clear acrylic, but it's a 12 by 8 bed and the area is just way too small. And if you spend a bunch of money, you can open the whole thing up, but it's still pretty small. Yeah. Yeah, I had an Omtech for
Nice.
a long time. Like,
Yeah, that's the one the
after-
wife won at LBX Lightburn event.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
which conveniently for you was only a 3-hour drive.
yeah.
So you just push it
Well-
in the back of the truck and bring it home with you.
No, so the one time that we didn't take the truck, they're like, "Oh, you could just throw it in your car, right? Or you get a big enough vehicle?" I'm like, "No, we took the wife's Edge. Oh, it'll fit in
Oh,
there."
yeah.
Oh, no, it won't.
Winning that in 3 hours away, you could go rent a vehicle and come back an hour later. I'll be right back. Go rent something.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem is trying to get it out. I had to rent a material lift to move it.
See, that's where if I would have got a phone call, I would have been able to get my hands on a pickup truck and I could have drove the hour down to help you and then the 3 hours back up
I
to
got a
drop it
pickup
off.
truck. I got it.
Everybody should own a truck.
Well,
if you have
but
a
the
house,
problem is-
a truck comes with a house. If you have a house, you got to have a truck to haul your
Well,
own stuff.
so that was the problem with who was it that Lawson Tech or whatever he is. He's totally anti-truck. I said, "You don't live in the States, man. You have no idea what's like, you know." And then if someone doesn't, how many times if you don't have a truck, people will say, "Well, can you help me move something?" Right?
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, when you own
Yeah.
a truck, a lot of people ask. You know, he's like, "Well, I never had to ask." I said, "Well, good for you because you don't live in the States."
Yeah.
So
He probably pays a mover to move.
yeah,
Somebody might throw out some cool stuff a couple blocks away, and you need it because you can use the material or whatever it may be. You never know. Haul a tree,
At
whatever.
the very least, a trailer. Like if you got a vehicle that can pull a
Yeah.
trailer, like that, that'd be a good alternative.
I used to have a car hauler when I had my land in front, but I sold it. It was just sitting out back. I wasn't using it.
Yeah, we sold our truck. It was a 2005 F-150 and bought a RV. we were without a truck for only 2 years, and we bought it because it was like we used it for a lot of recreational and for hauling. I mean, it's not a pavement princess, so
Awesome, Sergio. Glad you got it.
That's what I like about my what is it, 29, 30-year-old pickup truck. Like it's, I do whatever the hell I want. Have a bunch of fun with it.
yeah.
And do work with it. So it's all nice.
Well, so could it be that it takes longer to heat up the bed than to level it?
Yes.
Close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because that thing, because that's only 24. That does need to be a mains voltage bed.
That needs to be an AC bed. I'm sorry. It's just
that's one of those situations where, yes, I understand they did it because of safety. It had nothing to do with cost. It had nothing to do with cost. That was a safety thing, I'm sure. I'm sure if you ask them, that's what they'll say. But realistically, that thing's so damn big, it should have been, 420 by 420. That's probably not the actual bed size. So, yeah.
Oh, it's bigger than that.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably a 430 or 450.
Artillery has been doing it with Genesis for years, right? Putting it AC. No, was it? No.
It's the Sidewinder. The Sidewinders have the AC beds. Actually, did they do that on the Genesis too?
No, they had the sticker on it.
The hell it is.
They forgot to take the sticker off the bed, and it wasn't AC.
But yeah, I know that with their Sidewinder series, they've been AC beds, and those things are what 300s, so or 350 350s. So yeah.
I have a CR10S5. I guess I don't even know if it's actually made by Creality, but it came with a 300 millimeter bed, like the one for the CR10, stuck to the bottom of it as the 24 volt DC heater.
I got that here somewhere.
And I was like, so I ripped that out, threw it out, and got an AC mains pad
Here's
for
my
it.
310 by 320 bed.
That's exactly what they had on the bottom of that thing.
I had Mandela Roseworks cut me a new bed. The variance from edge to center, 0.5 millimeter.
Nice.
On a 310, which is nuts. The variance on this bed now is like Voron quality. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
It's Mandela. So if anyone needs a bed,
That's funny.
Otherwise, I'm going to toss the damn thing.
You know what you're going to do with it? You're gonna stick it in with that freaking Delta printer you got, and when I show up, you're gonna offload all your crap into my vehicle.
You're gonna
come home with a bunch of crap again, and then I'm gonna end up.
Isn't that why you started the event? So you can get a bunch of free stuff and then get rid of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, just have a table. I was gonna say, just have a table at Rocky Mountain and just.
We're gonna have. We had a swap meet table at. The first year. This year is gonna be a bit bigger and still not like
you can just have the freebie table. I would honestly, man, set up a freebie table and just tell people, be like, look, if you've got crap that you don't want,
that's gonna be one of the filament companies is doing a filament swap type thing.
Instead of calling it lost and found, call it lose and take or something.
Yeah, lose and gain, or lost and gained, or lose and take, or leave and take. Just call it leave and take.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, just have a
we're not going to do that, but we'll let individuals do that.
Justin, you're not going to do that.
Here's Sergio.
Yeah. So it was 7 minutes, 41 seconds to heat, and 8 minutes 9 seconds to level.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Damn.
A lot of time.
Well, I'm not done leveling. I said, I had to do the Z offset. I already know that's 0.9.
But even still, you're talking just for somebody who's going to fire that thing up and start their first print, they're going to have at least 16 minutes of wait time.
You're not gonna, let's be honest, you're not going to level the bed every time, but at least to start it, you're looking at 8 minutes.
But for anybody who doesn't adjust any start G code, if in the start G code it tells it to level every time.
No,
because some printers. Yeah, some printers will run a bed mesh at the start of every print.
That's 9 square, but I mean, I know what you're saying.
But yeah, even still, 9 by 9 is still 81 points, and it's 100 and what to out the box. The first one's 100 and how many? 120 points, you said?
140.
There's no
140
reason to
points.
probe the whole
So-
bed with like camp. Just probe where you're gonna print. Do a 3x3 where you're gonna print.
Yeah. It would be nice if they would start doing that because, I mean, it's not like, especially with Clipper, it's not that hard to basically copy and paste the code in and you're done. And it just says, hey, when I'm going to print, this is the area I'm going to print in. Okay, we'll scan this grid, be done.
What's up, Steven?
Yeah.
Cool, how you doing?
The only thing you might want that you don't, Beacon would make it way faster. But one thing you might want if you're doing camp is to have some sort of macro that checks with a printer this big that checks if the area you're going to print in is more than 200 millimeters, then you probably want to go to 5x5 or 6x or 6x6 or 7x7 or
But yeah, even still doing a 9x9 81 point grid, that's still you're talking about half the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still talking it was 9 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever the hell it was. You're talking you're still talking you're still talking 5-ish minutes just to do first start bed mesh. So you're still adding that on. You're still talking 13 plus minutes just for your first print to start.
There you go, Matt. Standing behind that chair again. Remember what I said last week before we streamed?
What does he look like? He looks like a high school kid who's got something to hide.
Get down, Matt. Would you?
Terrible. I'm sorry.
He has backache.
Hey, Matt, you need to go get your math book, your arithmetic book, and just hold that in front of you.
We've got Marcel off axis.
Hey, what's going on, Marcel? How you doing, buddy?
How's it going?
Hey, Marcel, you're looking kind of smooth there, buddy.
Looking
Yeah.
smooth, baby's face.
You look like you're going really fast sitting in one spot.
Yeah. No, I don't think you get it, Justin.
I know.
You can't see my face, Justin. Look at
What the
Remember,
hell did you do?
he got rid of the porn stash.
Yeah, why'd you do that? You're Canadian.
I did it today, actually.
Have you been working, Marcel? You got any movie gigs you're working on?
No, I quit doing the movie gig, Jerry. I've been out of it since COVID, really.
Oh,
I got rid of that idea.
Wasn't the last thing you did the Apple gig, right?
No, the last thing I did was Peter Pan. I was a pirate on Peter Pan.
That's right. That's right. I remember you posted a picture. I couldn't remember how that all kind of like lined up because I remember you did that gig with Apple for the what show was that again, man? I'm sorry.
Shmigadoon.
That's it. Yeah. Because I actually watched.
Remember that
It was funny. I was watching some episodes of that because for a little while my son had his Apple TV account set up on the TV, so I was watching some episodes and I'd see standing in the background. I'm like, honey, look, there's Marcel, and she goes, I love him.
My fans, thank you very much.
Yes, my wife still wants you to come to the States to one of these events so that she can meet you because the whole what the hell show was that? This is how you know, like, what the hell show was that she was a huge fan of?
Supernatural.
Yeah, thank you. I know you'd remember because you were on it.
I was on almost every episode of that one. I was basically a character in the show, really, without a name. Yeah, just because I was always there.
Yeah, that's why every time you were on, when back in the good old days there, when my wife found out about that when I was still in the house, every time she'd see you, she was like,
nice. Always nice to have fans.
Right. Yep, you do, sir. At least my wife. So I would say I have to be careful with you two, like when she meets you, but
yeah. Right.
I've got this new thought in life, which is if you can afford to take over payments.
Yeah, right. I've been working my ass off on this 3D printed wing that I built. Basically has no top layer or bottom layer, just infill to keep it lightweight, and then it's wrapped in tape, just backing tape, really, on this little cheap guy. But yeah, I've been printing a lot still.
Good.
Have you you're into the RC stuff, but have you seen RC Test Flight YouTube channel?
Yep. Big fan. Been around with those guys for a long time.
I built a bunch of their planes back before I got into 3D printing, a bunch of home built planes.
Oh, nice.
Then I got into 3D printing, and then I kind of quit messing with it and eventually sold everything.
Right. Yeah, I'm like second year into doing these plane stuff, and now I'm 3D printing like huge planes. which is
Nice.
pretty
You got
incredible.
another printer? Or you still using that single printer?
I still have this single printer right now, but I do have another printer lined up. I just haven't paid for it yet. And,
You were talking about foam planes. I think we might be talking about different people. RC Test Flight's a guy out of Seattle that just does like kind of random like
oh, yes, I know who you're talking about.
yeah, like one of
he
his
just
videos recently was a V8 engine on a paddleboard.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Flight test, I think, is what I was talking about. Their foam built Dollar Tree
yeah.
foam board plane.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy you're talking about, Dan, is what's his name?
Shane.
Peter Schmoley or something. Sorry, Shane. Yeah, I didn't mean to say Dan.
No, it's all good.
Peter Schmoley, I think, or something like that, or Smolik, or something like that. He's a guy that does that RC test flight, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause he does like all sorts of weird stuff, like ship stuff, boat stuff, and
Yeah. Okay, I know who you're talking about. He's a young guy. He's been doing it forever. He has a huge channel. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got an RC boat that he has been doing like long range missions on.
yeah,
So he just drives it. He sits inside of it. It's all like solar powered panels on it and stuff. And he's been like getting long distance range with it and stuff because
Hey, Chris Travis.
forever. It's
Yes,
pretty
Travis.
cool.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys later.
See you,
hey, Matt.
Have a good
Okay,
one.
Matt. Big giveaway in 10 minutes, Matt. He'll be back. Take care.
Yep, we'll be back.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to follow Matt out, but I won't be back in 10 minutes because
Why not?
I'm beat. I'm tired. I got to get up in the morning and make green bean casserole for my mom's house and rustle up kids and get them ready to go, and then make sure my wife is up and moving. So
Yeah, you
I made a
Americans
bunch
have your
of deviled
Thanksgiving
eggs earlier
coming up.
for tomorrow. I'm the deviled egg guy at holidays.
There you go.
Nice.
I hate peeling eggs. They're a pain in the butt. That's one thing I hate about it. I hate peeling eggs.
yeah, but guys, I will talk to you all
Have a
later.
good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too,
Take care.
Jerry.
Good
Hopefully
chatting.
this Saturday, I will definitely. I'm not gonna say definitely, but hopefully this Saturday I will be able to make it. So hopefully this Saturday I'll be on the stream, good sir.
All right.
So
Yeah, I'll be streaming. If you're talking to me, I'll be streaming at 10 a.m. instead of 1.
okay, yeah, I should be around unless something happens. So
I'm
if I'm
usually
not there, I'll always be in chat.
I'm usually set up at 10:30 and I just hang out and the Matt comes in early, like an hour and a half early, and we chit chat. So I go live at 1. So now that I'm streaming at 10, I'll have to get set up at 9 and just sit here because I have to get everything ready. So,
All right, well,
take
throw me
care.
the link.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
See you
Bye,
later.
guys.
guys.
Some food.
get in. So here's a question, John. How much screwing around did you need to get to get the ByQ to work?
The what to work?
Big
Oh, I have the
Sorry,
whole
God.
video on that one. That one sucked ass.
Yeah. Basically, what I did is I just took the because this is from Jim, the one that he put on did the live stream with, where he bricked it by updating it. That's his printer, and I basically took the configurations off. I wiped everything off, fresh installed Linux, Caillou threw the configs on, basically just disabled the couple of mainsail repositories that were in there. And basically been running since. That's why I ended up having
It's
to deal
not
with
a
it.
bad printer. I mean, that's the one that I'm gonna be giving Dan is that one.
Yeah.
And it just the problem is when we get them these machines, there's no documentation out there.
Yeah.
And it's just really sometimes suck. And that one I literally had to do everything on my own to get that thing up and running because out of the box it didn't work.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, like the thing would not do anything. It was so weird. Like reinstalling Clipper and everything just worked. When I commented out a couple of things that I didn't want, but everything seemed to work. And
I should have just titled that video a little bit differently, I think, because it just didn't do well at all. But there was so much information in there how to make sure you don't brick it. If you do, there's a way out. I mean, because I went through everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the one thing I hated the most is when you cancel the print, it would disable all the stepper motors, so you couldn't tell it to go move up or move out of the way because I think it would stop right over the print or something like that. And it was one of the most most annoying thing, and it's that's not default of Clipper. That was something that
Somebody
changed.
went out of their way to make it awful.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, to be fair, it was one of the first production Clipper machines, right, from a company like that.
Yeah, and they're like around that time. I think they partnered with Clipper, or at least Big Tree Tech partnered with them. And it's like you couldn't get anyone in the community to help you out with the firmware. Like,
Nope.
Well, and also shutting it down. There's a shutdown. I mean, so the reason why I put the Clipper screen on there is so you can see the shutdown sequence, so you know it's safe to turn off.
yeah,
And so when you go and hit shutdown on there, you have no idea if it's ready or not. No clue.
Nope.
I don't shut down my printers, my Clipper ones at all. I just flick them off.
Well, this one,
There's an appropriate shutdown procedure. I just
Apparently.
tell Siri to turn the outlet off.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Linux boxes, you really shouldn't just kill power to them. You know, it's usually not good for the if there's stuff in flight on the getting into the disk, it'll
now these
corrupt
have
your
like
stuff.
I don't know if it's like a capacitor or high power capacitor or something in there, because it will, if you hit the power on them, like the last two Elegoo's, it will actually take a moment and power down, and then it'll shut off. Right, so there's like a timer or something on there. I don't know, it's weird, but
right,
it's going now. Let's see what happens. I mean, this thing has been printing. It's just I didn't care for some of the there were some layer shifts, but that actually wound up being bad files on the card. So it was like, oh, I was like, oh, is the belt's loose? So tighten in the belts, all the normal crap.
So it's like the Ender 3 to Kappa Cat.
right.
That's a oldie. I think that was like 2018, 2019 when that came. That was around. Classic 3D printing.
Right.
Yeah, it's oh now it's powering up.
Sounds like an air siren in the background.
Right? Well, I think it's because they've got a second set of fans on to blow, like what?
Yeah, it got the curtain fan.
Yeah. So you can stand in front of the printer and, have airflow.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, did you guys see on Netflix? I already watched all 4 or 5 episodes. They got a new Squid Games out.
Nope, I've
Sadly-
never watched it.
I haven't watched the first one.
The first one, and it was a Korean game show, basically. Whenever you failed the challenge, you got killed by one means or another. Which, of course, it was like a series, like a movie. It was a series.
Yeah.
The new one are actual people in the U.S. doing the same similar games,
Of course.
but you don't actually get killed. You just get eliminated.
TikTok
I was
channel.
really
Like an
disappointed
actual
to
game
see it.
show.
Right.
It's based exactly the same, except there's different scenarios they got to do. You know the little doll where you got to run forward and it shoots you with a laser and kills you if you're moving?
Sure.
All right.
He's never watched the show, but I
I've
think
never
I know
watched
what you're talking about.
Okay.
I've seen the masks.
Yeah.
I saw
Well,
the
it's
Mr.
good.
Beast recreation, so I'm assuming it's
Right.
something like that.
All right. Well, it's okay. But I was expecting people to die like they would in a movie,
I'm still one of those people who have no idea who Mr. Beast is.
That's okay. You don't need to know it. It's not like end of the world.
So there's a game called
Mario Kart.
I just had the name of it. It's like sail blazers. It's basically like Valheim, but you operate a convenience store basically, and customers come in and like drop garbage and stuff. Well, one of the things that they'll drop is like a banana peel, and where I found out about the game is a guy that's locally here. He runs a video game store, and I'm gonna be stopping in there on his busiest day. While I'm talking to him, I'm gonna pull this out of my pocket and just lay it on the table and just walk away mid sentence. That's my goal. So
Right. That will be
Bring the
really
game
bad.
to life.
yep.
Yeah, Starship was fun to watch until it wasn't, but everything fired and worked pretty much how it's supposed to. They're probably going to try to launch again next month.
Justin left.
He's trying to show no more crack. So, so that new laser, that Raleigh looks really good there, Jerry. That's a nice looking laser.
You know, when I mentioned in the video, when I took the bar off the front and that plate that was on where the module goes, I took off a big steel plate and I said, you don't need that. I made a huge mistake because it says right there on the front of the paperwork, and the LA Hobby guy mentioned it to me on YouTube. He goes, no, that's so when you take the bottom out, you set up your rotary, it'll extend it down further. Well, It was in the paperwork right on the front sheet, and if you pause it when I show that one sheet on what to do, it says it right in the middle. And for some reason, I'm looking at pictures and I'm not reading things, and that was a dumb mistake I said in the video. And then I kept calling it the wrong thing. So when I was actually doing the thumbnail and I was trying to upload it, I realized that I'm calling it the wrong thing. So I went back in and I threw that on the screen. I was calling it an LM2 and it's an MK2, but whatever. I tried to do a good job on it.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, really? That's a transport plate? I mean, that's pretty expensive looking plate to just throw away.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought when I took the bar off. I'm thinking, why would they go to such expense, having something so heavy duty if you're going to throw it away? But anyway, I got to do another video, and I'll mention what I said in the first video that was wrong. So,
yeah, you just do a short.
Yeah.
So I finally got my CNC's first cut.
Nice.
Add 3 more letters, and you got my last name. Put an A, a P, and a P, and that's my last name.
Yeah. Yeah. So I finally got it all cutting. Turns out that there's something wrong with like Gerbil and end stops on that machine. Not exactly sure what it is. I've gone through the end stops. End stops seem to be triggering perfectly fine, and then they'll just start randomly triggering. So disabled end stops, and everything's all fat, dumb, and happy. So
what machine?
It is a machine that was made in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I'm guessing it's like a college student or something because there's not much information on there.
Okay.
I think I have it up here. Hold on, I got the link open on. It's like Formative FM1 or something like that.
Did you give your dog rawhides, John?
Not anymore.
My wife seems to think they're bad for my dogs and doesn't want me to buy them anymore.
Well, at least for our dogs, because they get impatient and they try to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
They never we'll bind them up. Just think about eating something just too big, and it's really hard for them to digest. So if we do, we give like the little stick ones. So that way.
Yeah, that's what I have, the stick ones, but they're like 6 inches long.
Yeah, they're like almost like a pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't give them the big rawhides anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because I mean, if they were more patient, like our other dogs were, these two are just will eat like a piece like this long that's all soft, and they're sitting there like hacking it back up. I'm like, then we just throw it away.
My brown and white dog, Sandy, I've given her rawhides before, and she'll try to grab it so fast she'll miss it, go around the corner of the living room, and it's still in my hand because she was in such a hurry. Yeah, it's hilarious.
You're going to Otto, you're going to try the new Lightburn CNC controller?
It's
on my.
Is it?
When it comes out, it's not out
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, it's on my list. I actually need to do an upgrade to Lightburn. I'm
I
running.
wonder what it's going to cost. It'll be a separate program. I
It
wonder
will
what
be, yes.
have a monthly fee or just do updates every year like Lightburn.
They said it's in line with the other licenses.
Yeah.
So they didn't mention it.
I just added
They just didn't have
Galvo
an
for
exact
90.
cost. It'd be
I
around
met Lightburn. I said, hey, you guys going to do a Black Friday sale? I'm like, no. I tried to get it free a long time ago. No, that's her favorite word. No.
Yeah. They don't give it to any traders. Even the LA Hobby guy doesn't get it for free.
Right.
Well, I imagine he does, but yeah, if somebody does that much.
Or he
work
doesn't
for me,
say
I
it.
think so.
You know, it was
You can't.
on all of his videos. I don't even. I just enjoy it. I don't. They don't pay me for it, or yeah, it's.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what version I have. I know it's like it was before version 1. I know that. I think it was like 0.9.
I don't.
Yeah, updates.
I never
30
even
bucks.
look. I just when it says update, I update, and
Yeah.
typical end user when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, when I know it's not because my license expired and the version that I could have upgraded to had a bunch of bugs for the machine I have here, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not gonna do that.
Well, I got 3 licenses, and then if I get their, it's called like mill something. I don't know.
Mill Magic, Mill Maker, Mill Magic.
Not magic. Mill something. Mill work or not mill. Not
No,
mill.
it's Mill
mill
Mage. Mill
made.
Mage.
Mill made. Yeah.
Can you use Lightburn with any CO2 laser?
Any
Yes,
CO2.
as long as it has
That-
the proper controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Verbal
What's the
controller.
proper controller?
Like the
Prior to
K40s, the base K40s, you can't run it on.
Yeah.
You got to put a
I don't know what mine
K40. You
has.
got to put a Gerbil board in it.
Yeah.
What? Say it again.
A Gerbil board in the K40.
GRBL
So I have
board.
a K40.
Yeah, I don't know anything about mine. All I know is when I first got it, it run. The heck was the software called?
It's running
RD
whatever.
Works.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any type of interface on the top of it or a side?
There's like a controller on the top. Yeah,
Rita controller, most likely. So
I don't know.
yeah,
It's in storage at the moment, but yeah.
We just hit 400 general admission tickets.
Nice.
Yeah, I have 3. I got the CO2, I got the regular diode, and I got the gavel. So I got all 3 of their licenses.
I just got Galvo, but a couple days ago. Added to mine, and then I've done my updates.
Well, I hope that company doesn't ghost you like the last one, Jerry. So.
No, it's in transit.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
That's
Yeah, it's in transit somewhere. It's UPS is delivering it.
Yeah, I was like, I really hope that he doesn't just put this out there. It's not in transit. So.
Yeah.
right.
Well, I was working out a deal with another company. They wanted this, that, and other, and we talked for like a month, and then they backed out of it and said, "Oh, our company ran out of money for the year. We can give you 30% off." Yeah, right. I don't got $5,000 laying around, so that ain't happening. And then Patrick put me in touch with another company, and then I talked to them. They checked out my channel, and then everything worked out. So I know it's a steep learning curve, and I got a lot to learn about fiber. So we'll see how it goes.
It's the 3 things: speed, power, and frequency. That's all it is, and sometimes height. So
Yeah.
because sometimes you want it out of focus. Believe it or not.
This company wanted to originally send me that newer style where it's got all self-contained under the bed. All the electronics are under the bed. It's real small. And I wanted to at least a 50 watt. It was separate where the arm is separate, like the PC computer. It was a split unit is what I wanted. And I said, at least you're 50 or 60. And he said, sure, we'll see. If you want to do all these videos for us, we'll be more than happy to send you a 60 watt. So consider yourself a partner with our company. I said, no problem. So
Yeah, my CO2, the K40, I gotta find a better way for like the water cooling part of it. Because
I just don't understand how John puts out so many videos and has a full-time job because I am retired and I have trouble doing anything. It's like the day goes
He's
by
got a
that
clone.
quick.
He's got a twin.
What?
Maybe
Yeah, exactly.
because I'm older. As you get older, time flies
You have a
quicker. So
you have a
maybe my
twin,
days are
right,
shorter than
Yeah.
John's. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one. That other one's missing the left leg.
There
You
you go.
just never see him.
Just switches.
Yep. Here, so this is what I have to use in my CO2.
Dang.
Do you mix it with water?
No, it's already mixed. So
Yeah.
you just
Oh, okay, so just
because you don't want your tube to freeze.
right. Yep.
So you
I'm
use
in Colorado.
RV.
Yeah, we're
Marine
getting snow
grade
what
and
tomorrow, right? I think.
Yeah, we're supposed to get snow tomorrow.
Yep.
So
6
I
inches.
haven't even put any in there yet because I ordered. The problem is with having that CO2 there. Now would you believe it or not that you cannot order blinds with strings to pull them anymore?
They're
Yeah,
all,
it's
Are you kidding me?
they're all the automatic like hold ones.
Yeah, and you're not tall enough to get to the top. I'm like, so you can never have the blinds all. So for the garage, I actually ordered remote blinds.
Good choice.
Nice.
Well, I mean, it was like $240 just for one one blind. I'm like, well,
Now,
I got a solar panel too, so it charges the system, and it's just a strip that goes on the very top of the window, basically where it all goes up. So you're not really using that space anyways.
So my question is that stuff that you have there, is that non-flammable? Because that's one of the things I was looking at for mine. I used to always just drain it in the winter. Now I don't run it; it's unused. But
Well, this is
I
actually
used to just drain it in the winter so it wouldn't freeze. But I looked into some antifreezes, but some of them were like flammable and stuff, and I was like, well, that doesn't sound like something you want in a laser.
I've never heard of flammable antifreeze.
Neither have I.
I don't know if it was alcohol based or what, but it did say that it was flammable. Some of them that I found.
No, this is all actually what's in antifreeze in your car. And there you go. And you know what? This is like $4 a gallon versus what I just put in the truck for $40 for not even a gallon, right?
Yeah. You must have been shopping at Walmart to get a deal like that.
Well, for that, the RV antifreeze is dirt cheap. Always has been.
Okay.
We winterize our RV every year, so it's because you got to use a lot of it. You know, for the gray tank, the black tank, all the lines. You got basically for any of the poop you don't get out of the black tank, you want to make sure it's mixed in pretty good.
So. Yeah, because everything that I was doing is that everything was done in a 5-gallon bucket, and the pump, you know, the way all that stuff is, it's just like it's kind of janky. Then I haven't used the K40 in a long time because it's kind of a pain in the ass to get the 5 gallons of water and making sure it's
you
cool
got to use distilled water.
Yeah.
Some people will put bleach in it, or to help with not getting any bacteria.
Yeah, I got some aquarium stuff that I have to throw in it.
Yeah, so that's why I went with the antifreeze. Also, that's actually what the Eon, the laser company, suggested was to get RV antifreeze for it.
So is that kind of like a general thing for like the K40, like any like laser you could use that stuff in it, or
you should be able to, but this is also for like the cold climate. Like mine's sitting right next to an exterior wall. It does get below 30 in the garage, and I do not want my tube shattering from just having distilled water in it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because that has a lot of like antimicrobial stuff in it, so you don't grow stuff. And the fact that I don't use it all the time, that might actually be a better route than what I have been doing.
It's almost as if you really want to get to the nitty gritty, it's 3 times the cost of a gallon of distilled water.
Yeah.
So, and I got it at Home Depot.
Okay, so if I go to Menards, it'll probably be a little cheaper.
Just get on your computer and check the price, but it might fluctuate online.
Yeah, because I was getting this for the window vent, but then it's too big for my exhaust port. I got to rethink.
The one that I got at Lowe's is metal. It's I think it's 4 or 5 inch. It's got a magnet on the bottom, so my exhaust fan usually can't blow it open. So when I start up my laser, I go out there with a spatula and I click it open, and then it stays open. Then when I shut them off, it goes shut and it's got a magnet. It's sealed tight.
So the one that I have is similar to what he's talking about. It's got a metal, like I had to replace mine because I had a plastic one like that on the outside, but it was pretty well sun baked and everything. But it's got the metal part, and you can kind of spring it down a little bit and slide it through the hole, and it'll spring out to kind of seal up the hole. That might be it was a lot more expensive, but it might be that might help you out there with getting it through the wall and such.
And then if you have a bug problem in the summertime or mosquitoes, you can always put like a fish net or something over it, then put your flex hose on top of that, kind of put over it, and that way bugs can't fly in. If you got bugs, mosquitoes, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually keep mine exhausting all the time during the summer because it just keeps the basement cooler. So it kind of forces all the bugs out.
How fat, sis? There's your
people. Yep, just said hi.
Hop it in. Yo. What's going on, CMYKFP?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to fire up that laser, but it's like I told the wife, I'm like, now we have to be serious and actually try to make some money with all the equipment in the garage.
A good idea. Hey, you'll
problem is,
sell it.
to be able to use this stuff to make things.
Right.
Someone asked, don't you print it? I'm like, I can't tell you the last time I actually printed something for myself.
Right.
I print stuff and I throw it away because it's for reviews, and that's it.
Yeah, most of the stuff I do on a laser, I don't keep it. I rarely keep it.
Yeah, the wife will give it away to kids on the bus and some things. Like the Flexi Dragons or something. I've only printed out one Flexi Dragon.
Yeah, I don't really keep a lot of the stuff, but this is gonna be a thing
that's
I'll be
awesome.
keeping.
Oh,
That's
There's
cool.
actually gonna be two of them. The second one, I got the little mini guys here. Oh, so this is the big guy that's gonna go on one side of the door. And there's another one with the mouth open that'll go on the other side. And
cool.
I would recommend either Prusa Slicer or Orca Slicer.
Mm-hmm.
Orca's good, yeah.
I haven't used it yet. I want to. I just haven't.
Yeah, Chelsea posting over on Twitter, and for Halloween every day she's posting new stuff. Then after 5 days, it would go on to her Patreon. I printed this mask and a video that looked like leaves, like you'd have at a ballroom party or something. And my wife wanted it, and I guess I gave it to my wife. But when my granddaughter came over to visit, I gave it to her. Then my wife wanted me to print another one. I deleted the file off my computer. Well, I'm not going to go join her Patreon to get one file she posted for free. So I messaged her on Twitter about it, and she never replied to me. So then I tagged her on Twitter, and she didn't reply to that either. So whatever.
is it deleted files in your trash can, or did you?
Yeah,
delete?
it was already gone. It was like a week prior that I got rid of it.
Oh.
But it wasn't free file. I did a video. I plugged her in the video, and then I asked for the file back to reprint it for my wife, and then I get no response. And then I tagged her publicly, and I still get no response. So I don't know if she didn't see it or what. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, John, earlier about the Home Depot, like I was joking about it being Homeless Depot.
Yeah.
I was talking about Menards.
I find Menards at all. It's actually closer. It's just that I know where everything is at Home Depot.
Yeah.
And typically I like the indoor lumber yard because then the lumber isn't all warped from sitting outside. And so that's usually why I go to Home Depot more than Menards. And anyone it's a Midwest thing. Menards is a Home Depot competitor. So, but
here
I don't mind Menards usually.
Yeah, here it's like Home Depot is like twice as expensive as Menards for everything, and the Menards here, that 2 of the 3 locations, it's indoor, or it's not really indoor like inside the building. It's a separate building outside. That's where they have all their lumber at the one here. So
I usually go to Lowe's. I got a Lowe's 2 miles away. Home Depot's a lot further. Home Depot has better stuff than Lowe's, but Lowe's is closer.
So I'm on the laptop that I usually edit with, and the keyboard's failing so bad that it's like doing double. It's a Mac, and that's why.
I believe it.
And I'm so happy that the PC is up and running downstairs. I finally got my 50 terabyte NAS hooked up too. So,
well, all that video editing, you got to have somewhere to put it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I got honestly for just over 4 years of editing, I've only 6 terabytes. So
I upload and then I delete it. You're lagging slightly, but I upload and I delete off my hard drive. So if I ever get my channel booted, I lost all my content.
Well, I have mine automatically synced to Odyssey and Rumble. So anytime I upload a video, it automatically syncs to it.
That's good.
Yeah,
it's not like those channels.
You don't render on your hard drive first, watch it, and then upload it? You just do a direct upload when you render?
Oh no, I watch it 3 or 4 times. I will have headphones on because I'm always worried about audio. I have headphones on, off, and then I'll play it on a like a tablet or my phone also. So just try to make sure my audio is balanced.
If I got like 5, 10, or 15 different clips, as you know, I tape with my cell phone or my Canon or my whatever it may be, and I put them all together, how do I synchronize all my audio at once? Because I go through, I got both speakers, I drag it with my mouse up a little bit and I listen to it. I look at the red zone and then I go to the next clip and I do the same thing. And I manually try to set each one of them.
You need like a wireless mic that's the same for everything. So when you use your when I do my voice overlays now, I use this same thing. I use this Anchor Work wireless mic setup.
Mm-hmm.
I have it on my phone, on my camera, on my computer, and it's barely noticeable between all three.
Right.
But you can highlight them all and then do the gain, but they're going to be all over the place because you're using different mics for different things.
Yeah.
So I was actually, I don't know if Ajax, is that a Shure mic that you're using?
Yeah, this is a Shure. Yep.
Yeah, I just don't know. I didn't know that there was different ones. I was looking at those just yesterday. I thought there was only one version, but it's like,
oh yeah, this is the SM7B.
Yeah, so I don't know like which one's the one that like I see YouTubers use and stuff.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
using the Rode
SM7B
USB.
is one of the most popular ones.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm using the
so
Rode NT USB Plus.
You got the Rode version. I went with the Anchor Work. It's good.
Yeah.
And because my audio was atrocious, especially at the beginning,
Right.
absolutely horrible.
Oh.
They always say that always go back and watch your first videos after a year or two, and see how your own evolution. Oh my God, I don't know how anyone even watched it. It was so bad. But that's how I do it now. I've been using these for about, I think, like ever since the Murph video.
Right.
That fiasco with that wireless set, I switched this because it can pierce through all the interference there.
Right.
So it's about $200-ish.
A while back, I was doing a voiceover, and I had something went wrong in DaVinci Resolve, and I couldn't figure out how to do it, or something had changed. I don't remember what it was. So I went the cheap way. I took my new cell phone. While I'm watching the video on the screen, I hit the record button, and I'm talking. And then when I upload that to my and throw it in DaVinci, I just delete the video part, and I line up the audio to match what I'm seeing on screen. It works. It's kind of stupid to do it that way, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be. I mean, I buy all the equipment myself too, just like you. So sometimes you have to be throwing a little bit of ingenuity into the mix. I used just Apple headphones, and I would hold it away. Just the corded ones. I would hold the mic away because sometimes it would go against my beard or my clothes. You hear that the scratching.
Yeah. And then if I tape with my cell phone, the audio might be turned sideways on my resin printer. So when you go into DaVinci and you got to flip it, the screen on, the top right, I forget what it's called. I have trouble getting it exactly framed right because I'm using my mouse and I'm trying to drag that little slider to get it exactly 90 degrees parallel, and it's kind of a pain. So I usually just zoom in on it. I get it as close as I can, then I zoom in and you can't really tell it's crooked. Anyway, it's fun editing. It's, pain in the ass.
It can be.
And the video I just uploaded took me about 20 times because my computer kept rebooting, losing my screens. Eventually, I got it to render on my hard drive. Because it usually blinks out. The program will shut down, or it'll completely blink out my computer, and I got to reboot it. So I don't know why it's happening.
It sucks. It's annoying.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's why I had to build a new rig. I mean, this laptop, 2016 MacBook Touch Bar, absolute garbage.
Oh yeah, that's what I have too.
I would never buy another.
Oh, I love my MacBook, but
Yeah,
it's
I
just
love
so
my
old now they won't support it.
Yeah.
No, that's the problem. It's called planned obsolescence. My friend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I use PC for pretty much everything with 3D printing. I use my Mac for everything I need portable because it lasts portable. My last Mac before the one I got, 10 years before the GPU started to die.
I think the only thing keeping me from buying the new MacBook is it's super ugly.
I have the Air
Sergio bought me this. I got Bizarre on it for doing my
Midnight, and I
thumbnail.
love it. Yeah, let me
I
grab
just don't know how they went from the 2016 design with the whole like outside shape, the like sharp edges and stuff, to the whole rounded bottom stuff now. It looks like a
Retro's
step
coming
backwards.
back. Retro's coming back.
I actually had dropped this at one point. Luckily, I actually damaged the screen, but yeah, I have the M2 Air Midnight.
Nice.
Very for what I do, I don't need anything bigger, but it's light, it's thin, it's perfect for portability.
Yeah, I just don't understand the rounded like
Edges?
design.
I
Like,
love it. And then I it slipped out of my case, and
ouch.
yeah, so the whole frame is actually like you can kind of see it. It's not
Yeah,
perfect.
a little bit of a
I
torque
have
to it.
I have Apple Care, so I just need to take it in and have them replace it. But I'm just lazy, and I don't want to drive to frickin' Boulder or
Well, I got to run, guys. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you soon.
enjoy
Good
the
meeting
rest
you.
of
Have a good
your
one.
good Thanksgiving.
Hey, Jax, nice meeting you. Have a great day.
Yep. Have a good one.
Take care, Marcel,
Take care, Jerry.
Shane, John,
Yeah.
Justin.
Yeah, I run Linux on just about everything. So
Yep. You're a
That's good.
Linux guy,
yeah,
pretty much.
this is a Windows computer in front of me, but that's for gaming.
Yeah, but you're primarily a Linux
Mhm.
guy, so. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, this could be a gaming rig. I mean, it's set up to, but it's all film editing. I got two 4K monitors. It's liquid cooled. It's got
Yeah.
everything.
Yep. I built mine. I love building my own PCs.
Well, that's the thing is that you're not locked in. If I want to get a new processor, I could do that. Right now, I was like, okay, it's got 32 gigs of RAM, and then I was like, and I ordered all this stuff a year ago, and it was been sitting there
I went
because
to
the
Micro Center and just
was DOA, and I just never got around to it. And then I go and look at the RAM. I'm like, oh my gosh, it went down by $40. So I ordered another 32 and threw it in.
Yeah, I'm running the new AMD like seven Ryzen 7s with DDR5. And this thing it stays about 60C.
Yeah, this is what's great about building your own stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the RAM that was in my machine when I first set it up.
Yep.
16 gigs of RAM. Now I have 64.
Yep. 64 gigs nowadays. You almost, unless you're running Mac, you gotta have it. I mean, right now with everything I'm running a lot of shit. I'm using. I'm only using 15 out of my 64. Usually, I'm about 33 gigs. So I must not be doing something. Oh, it's Fusion. Fusion usually kicks.
Yeah, people are like, do you need all that powerful film editing? I said, so if I used to use like the call outs and the lower thirds on my videos, the rendering just takes forever on this man. And I'm like, I know that if I had a better GPU and more RAM, it would just save me so much mental anguish.
Yep.
So,
The GPU alone, just having that for encoding, like that's
yeah.
just going to be night and day.
Very much so.
Because like the server that's in the room on the other side throwing a video card in it to do the transcoding, which is very similar to what you're doing for encoding your video, similar technology basically, and it was night and day difference going from CPU only to having a GPU in it.
Right.
yeah, like tomorrow before we go to the in-laws for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna run Ethernet into that room because it was my daughter's old room. Now that's the office. So right now I just hooked up the NAS directly to the PC through network cable. Right?
Yeah.
And then just to set it up, and then I bought like a 75-foot cord. I have a whole spool of Cat 5, and I'm like, you know what? It's all garbage now, right? It's like, so
It'll do gigabit. That's all
yeah.
you need.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be it could be old Cat 3. You'll be able to do gigabit on it, unless
Yep.
you're running at 325 feet. I think is what it is.
Yeah, and what the thing is most people are not going to use the speeds that you know when people are like, "Oh, I'm just do through Ethernet." I said, "Why?" I said, "What are you doing?"
I get to run some Ethernet, custom Ethernet tomorrow. So,
well, my Wi-Fi is so saturated because everything that you buy now is on a Wi-Fi, right?
Yep.
It's like I have like over 100 devices on my Wi-Fi. And I just want to start knocking it down because it's just so awful.
Oh, everything's a device. It's insane. I've got my sister used to work for Cisco Meraki, so before she left, she dog fed me one of their enterprise level routers with a 10-year license for free. This is a $1,400 enterprise router, wireless router with a 10-year license, and she knows people, so it'll be free for the rest of my life. And just being able to manage it the way I can is so nice.
Well, Pretty Solid just sent their email. What's their deal?
So
let's see. I just saw it.
That machine right there, that's my backup PF Sense router.
$17 Jesse PETG and PLA, 30% off LDO, $50 off next gen enclosures, 20% off all E3D Bontex Slice and Duet 3D.
Wow.
When you buy
my wife bought 5 spools of,
you get $200.
Yeah, the wife bought. I got so much filament here. That's why I was saying that. You know, I'm owed $600 from Polymaker. I just don't have room for it, so I'm not in a hurry to get it.
Right. Well, what you do it and then you bring it to Rocky Mountain and give it away.
Oh.
You do some kind of contest and give away a bunch of filament on site.
Oh, that's what I was going to do. But the problem is, I know that everyone's having problems, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he said during the events. You know, I wasn't expecting to win the Death Racer thing,
right?
You know, and it was the fastest one.
Yeah.
So,
and Ajax won another bamboo. He's got so many bamboos.
Actually upgraded it. So so it was a P1P.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I was like, can I just pay the difference and get an X1C? And they're like, yeah, instead we'll just give you a 50% off coupon. Like, all right, cool.
Wow. Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
That was my third X1C.
Very fast unit, even at the end. I don't know how.
Yeah, I gotta get into designing my Death Racer for Earth or for Rocky Mountain.
I gotta. You and I need to talk tripod about Scott, but we aren't gonna talk about that live. So.
What's that?
About Scott, I'll message you.
Oh, for the dragsters. Well, I mean, the thing is you know, it's technically Death Racers isn't Death Racers without Sam, so you need to reach out to Sam.
Oh no, Sam, we're good with Sam.
I'm just saying I'm not. That's why I said that when you said, "Oh, we'll just put Death Racers on your booth," I said a hard no, because I help Sam.
Huh?
I say I help Sam. I'm not Death Racers.
Me and Sam have been consistently talking, so we're good there.
Yeah. Speaking of RC stuff here, early next year, they're coax, since they're like 5 minutes away from me here. They're going to be putting on a RC snowmobile race.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I always wanted to get one of those.
Yeah, so I'll be starting to print some of that stuff.
Sounds
out.
like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Who was talking about planes here? Well, I know what Marcel was, right?
Right.
Were you talking about planes, Marcel, or something?
Yeah, this is my big one. I just
Remember-
3D printed the yellow and green one.
My antique collection up there of RCs.
Yeah. RC cars, those are awesome.
a couple of years ago, I got my kids some, like my older two, I got them some Traxxas, like T-Max RC, RC cars or trucks. That'd be cool to like 3D print some chain treads to put on instead of wheels for snowmobile.
Yeah. I mean, it's Colorado. We might need it.
I was kind of thinking about putting paddles on the back of the open RC and put some
Like sand tires?
sleds. Yeah, and put some sleds on the front wheels.
Nice.
But I think I'd have to do a bunch to the steering, because that steering is so floppy on that open RC. It's just. But,
Well,
yeah,
I built this thing for water, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work just as good in snow.
Oh, look at that hovercraft. That's awesome.
Nice.
Hold on. Here, hold on.
It looks like
takes
it looks like it's from the Jetsons.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So this
That's
is the
awesome.
action camera on top. I had to have something
That's
up there
a
to record
tiny
footage.
action camera. Holy
That's
crap.
the run cam thumb, they call it. It's kind of like
Nice.
the Insta 360 Go, but cheaper.
I might have to get one of those.
And then the top goes on too, and it's got a little 3D printed little pilot guy on the front. It's pretty funny. So that sits in behind the windshield like that, and it covers up electronics. And there's a TPU, like that bright green is TPU, so it's flexed to fit nice and solid when this is closed. And then yeah, it's actually a really good ripper. The first time I drove it, this rudder actually came off because it wasn't screwed into the top, but I should have. So now it should be totally fine. It drives pretty dope. It's pretty small, but it definitely is kind of heavy for the water, because I did notice it goes like almost all the way like sinking in. So it's, I don't know, I'll have to figure out a different battery maybe for it or something. But yeah, this guy actually got it off a YouTuber / Patreon guy that I ended up subscribing to, Make Stuff or something like that. One of those guys. I'll look up a link later, but he designs all kinds of different things, and this was one of his first designs. And I thought I needed a boat, RC boat. It'd be a lot of fun. And it lights up, which is kind of cool too. So yeah, I think that'd be good for the snow. You could drive it around on carpet, right? So
That's one thing I always liked about having the big monster trucks that I have. It's not the converted buggies into the truggies, as we used to call them, but the ones that were built ground up as trucks. So that you just go through anything, and you could seal the tires up, and you could literally drive on water.
totally,
You turn the wheels around and make them paddles.
that'd be awesome. Let's get the bottom to like expand and make it like a hovercraft, so it has like a floating base or something. It'd be super cool. I still been working on my R2 units that I have. I've got that one hiding in the corner there, that red and gray one. That's the old ATT track droid that I never finished building, that I'm gonna finish in my new.
I never finished the Brood to you.
No, mine's finished, but it's not. I don't have the motors for it yet. I've been trying to source out motors here that are cheaper than what the guy in UK keeps telling me, because it's like $100 and something Canadian at least for one of those motors.
Jeez.
So I was like, no, I don't want to pay that, but might have to just to get it working. But it's totally finished. It's up there sitting on the shelf waiting for me to put the electronics in it. The servos are all in it and everything. It's just those motors.
Yeah.
One day.
Right.
All right, gents, I'm gonna jump off. It's 11
Thanks for hanging. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't get arrested. Don't get in trouble. Don't get too drunk.
I'll just throw a 15 minutes. I'll throw a huge print on there and let it run.
Nice. And hope you don't come back to Paschetti.
You know what? As much as like I said, the LUs have been fine except for this one. It was such an early release, and again, I haven't watched any videos on anyone. I tend not to, because that I don't want to get any of their ideas in my head. So
True. Going to the fresh.
Makes sense.
Sweet.
So,
all
right.
Be careful with the wobble pops tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good advice. All right. You guys have fun. See how trouble.
Yeah.
Have
Good luck.
And then there were 4.
Yeah.
And there were 3, because I got to head out too as well. I got shit. I
I'm
got to
just
do.
putting a few things together, and then
That's
I'll
a pretty
probably
nice one.
Yeah,
So
I gotta figure out the background, get it to pop a little bit more.
Right.
That's
Is that
one of the
laser?
yeah. This is one of the cats at the local cat place.
Cool.
Little sweetheart.
All right.
A little fit.
Good night, everybody. See you guys
Yeah,
next
Have a good
time.
one.
See you later.
See you.
Yeah.
See you, Chris Travis. He's going to bed too.
Right. What do you think, Ajax? Your first Hangout stream?
It's fun.
These are fun. They just hang out, do whatever, and not really a subject because it's just like, you know, they talk about whatever.
Yeah, you weren't sitting there thinking like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Well,
No,
I
no,
think of that every week, but that's a whole different.
I think I jumped in and watched a couple before, so like
Yeah, which helps, you know.
knew what to expect. Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, I have a kitty. Hey, Pops. Hi. Oh, you're probably. Whoa! Sorry, bit of noise. Scared us both. Look, fluffy boy.
Not amused.
No, you're not, are you? You're worried about that noise, huh?
What happened there? I don't think that's part of the file. I wonder if it scraped it.
Bye. He's like, I'm out of these shit.
Was there like a thicker?
Yeah, there's like a big white line along the edge here, and
Was maybe the because that's just a ceramic tile, yeah.
yeah,
That's like painted with clear gloss and stuff. Maybe it
So
was
what-
just thicker paint or something.
no, it kind of feels like it was scraped.
Hmm.
So I wonder if that part of it is just a little too low. Maybe I need to do it a little extra space. But it did a pretty good job on all the darks and everything. I think I just gotta take that background and make it lighter and make the cat a little darker. Yeah, what I need to do there probably. I think it's a pretty solid green background or kind of greenish, brownish background. So I might be able to just take that color and kind of turn it white. Oh.
Oh, Shane, I broke my resin screen.
Oh no.
Yep. I had a FEP tear
Mhm.
and probably put too much pressure on something. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get Elegoo to do something for me, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, the Elegoo printer that I bought with my wash and cure station is actually printing now.
Nice.
These are the what are they called? The Blizzard models and everything. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this much: whoever they have designing these, like, needs to be beating the kneecaps with a hard object.
Right.
It's one of those things where I think they need to, they need to reach out to the people that they have doing some of their stuff for them, and
Right.
maybe get some of their ideas of what they could make sure they get right. One of the prints that was really cool is the
Mini lion. Yeah, he's a purebred Siberian, Pete.
he's a chicken. There's like a bunch of chickens in a box, and there's a chicken on top. And the chicken on top has like really, really thin legs.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what happened. Literally, the first thing with that print, it just like snapped right off. Like,
Snap the legs, yeah.
Yeah, there's not like the legs were thinner than the supports that they had on the pre-supported model.
Oh no.
So like the supports were probably holding the thing up. Like even if I had the print perfect, I don't think that would have held up. So stuff like that. The little pin that goes into the bottom of the model is the exact same size.
Oh, no tolerance.
There's no tolerance on it. I don't think there is, because with resin printing, you can pretty much have like 0.1 tolerance and it'll be sloppy
Go
together.
Yeah.
And this, like, I had to like grind out the bottom of this a little bit, sand this a little bit, to get it to go to here. And the other one, I can't even. Yeah, I haven't done any of that with.
Yeah,
But,
I don't have the patience to do resin. I have a resin printer, and I don't use it.
It's tedious. I got one, and I'm just like, I'm starting to regret it a little bit. Messy. It's tedious.
I will likely clean mine up and bring it to Rocky Mountain to get rid of.
Yep. I'll probably give. I can't sell the printer because it was given to me, but I can give it away, or I might be able to sell it for the value I have into it. But at this point,
yeah, like I like it just because it's been very rare that I get a failed print.
Right.
Like it is probably like the most reliable thing that I actually have, especially since I got rid of the flex plate that's on it. I went
Yeah.
back to the straight just
I'm running the Wham Bam. It works.
yeah.
The XTR full on.
Yeah,
Good deal.
I was having troubles getting stuff to stick to it and stuff falling off, and
I didn't have that issue.
but yeah, the way it is right now is like perfect for me.
Good.
And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like if I want something small and detailed, like it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the detail you can get from
The
it is
detail's wild.
incredible for sure.
Yeah.
And I've got like the super cheap, old models from like 5 years ago, and
Right.
I'm getting really good details off of stuff. I mean,
Okay.
I know if I got like a newer one, I could get better detail, but it's yeah.
Right. Ooh, I need to put you on my list of makers to message.
Yeah, it fits together fine in the game software. Yeah.
And you are planning to come to Rocky Mountain, right, Shane?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a list of makers that I need to notify when the tables go live.
Okay.
So I'll try to. They're going to be $20 or $25. You're going to want to do it pretty immediately.
Yeah.
Like right after I message you, because what I'll do is I'll message the makers, and like an hour later I'll post socials. So I can't show much favoritism there. So yeah, I've got a handful, not many, but a handful.
Yeah, if I don't get one, I'll just fly in instead, and
yeah. Well, I'll get you a badge if you need it. So
yeah,
not worry about that.
Yeah, I figured if anything, I could just fly in instead, and then I don't have to bring anything. That
right. You'll probably end up going back with stuff. Good thing is I live 15 minutes away. I can ship whatever I need to. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey.
My work is 5 minutes away. Ajax knows how close I work to that event. It's like
yeah, for sure,
right freaking there.
I live really close to the event center, and
Right.
you work closer, so
yeah, yeah, they're just hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is I think you were like running around at the beginning. This is the basically the cat house.
Nice.
It's a little cat house dome thingy.
Yeah.
That I'm printing out. I'm gonna see if it will be too much of a pain in the ass, or if it'll be the right amount of pain in the ass. But I kind of want to make like a bigger thing for them to sell off at their stuff for their charity stuff for the cat place.
Ajax, are you planning to sell at the event at all? Do you know?
possibly that's part of what I was asking you about. So
Oh yeah, I would say just sign up for as long as you get the license. I don't care. I'll leave that up to you.
yeah.
But I mean, I'm LLC. I paid $1 to be LLC.
Oh yeah.
And it was $1. So for me, it was worth it. It's not really that much more work. It's just paying attention.
Yeah, you got to separate things. You really got to keep good books.
Well, what you do is you get your LLC, you get your good standing report, you get your EIN.
Yeah.
And then you go to a bank and set it up, and then you leave it separate. Which, considering what you're doing with TD1, yeah.
Yeah, I set up an LLC once way back in the day. I did an LLC, and I never did anything with it, but
but now you have reason to.
Yeah. But yeah, I ended up disbanding that LLC. So yeah, so if I do it again, it'll be different. I didn't know a lot back then when I set that one up, and
I've been through it twice, so I'm glad to help guide. There's some pieces of paper you do not want to lose. Like you want to get 20 different copies before you do anything.
Like I even went so far as to set up with a bank an LLC account and everything back in the day, but that's all gone. Like after the first year, I never didn't do anything with it, and I just shut it all down. But so I kind of know the process, but it'll be all the crap that comes after that. That'll be new waters.
It's a yearly good standing report and taxes, and that's it.
Do you have to file? Do you have to file annually, like your board of directors or whatever, as well?
No, you just file your
S-corps?
certificate of good standing. I think that's for an S. I think it's for an S corp, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I got to start.
If it's done in Colorado, that's how it is.
Huh?
Is that for like if you do it as in Colorado? Because like when I set mine up, I did it as like in Delaware or whatever.
As far as I know, in Colorado, it's pretty straightforward. I haven't had to do anything. I'm still good standing 2 years in, so.
I'll have to look into it some more. But yeah, so that's what it comes down to is am I so like I'm already set up with like my Patreon and stuff. So I'm already making money at the moment. And if it gets to being, crossing a certain threshold, it'll make more sense. But
Yeah, I mean, I would still recommend it because just like what happened with Uforge, he didn't expect it to explode. You'd be surprised that very well could explode, and you'll be rushing to get paperwork done.
yeah.
Yeah, I got to start working on that stuff because I would kind of like to get this hobby to, pay for some stuff.
Yeah. Right? Me too. I've been working.
Yeah,
on
I'm only
that.
8 printers in, and I'm like, oh, hey, this is what it's like to make a little bit of money, huh?
Yeah, I make a few bucks here and there, but
Yeah. Well, that CNC machine, like there's so much stuff that I've got ideas for that I think I think I could make some money off of it.
right.
At least to pay for the broken bits
Broken
and
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about paying for the machines. It's the repairs.
Yeah.
That add up or the modifications. Like the printer I'm building right now,
yeah.
I'm modifying just everything that I can. Yeah.
Oh, when I was had that blob on the Voron,
Mhm.
my sensor, my homing sensor was loose.
Oh no.
So
Is that your Z home?
It was the Omron.
Oh yeah, I hate those.
Yeah,
I
Omron Pro.
don't use those anymore.
Yeah, I know you're, but mine has been working.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it came loose and then that's what caused the Z to be a little bit off. And
Would make sense.
Yep. I mean, even if I had my beacon on there, if it was loose, it would have been off a little bit.
Yep.
So right now I'm trying to decide if I want to throw the beacon on there.
Right.
Screw the clicky. I had zero luck with
I would put the beacon. If you have the option to put the beacon on,
Mhm.
I would put the beacon on.
Yeah. But this is like the third blob I've had recently, and that's the
Right.
and it's like, is it, I'm looking at everything and it's like, is it a blob because the sensor was moving around and it was off just a little bit and came off, or is it, just the sensor was being kind of janky, or am I gonna destroy a $80 probe if I put that on there? So it's kind of
Yeah. Well, what you do with the probe is you just run it as your live, or you're not your live Z, your virtual. That's what I'm doing, and it's saved. You remember the days I was destroying the beds on the big Voron?
yeah.
I have not even had an issue with that since I went beacon with the virtual. So as long as you set it up right, that's the fun part.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like I've already got everything set up. I just have to adjust the Z a little bit because now that I found a loose part in there.
Of course.
Everything else has been peachy.
Right.
Oh, we get a bamboo. No.
Ajax has
Get a bamboo.
If someone sends me one or I win one, sure.
Yeah.
That's about as I've told him, that's about the only way.
I definitely like what the bamboo offers, especially I print a lot. Like I only print ABS really.
Yeah, I that's why I like the Vorons, but that's just my.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like my Voron, but I've spent way more time trying to dial in and calibrate things than I did building the damn thing. And I still like right now. If I turned it on, the only way I could probably get it to print really good is to slow it down a lot.
Really? Maybe one of these days I'll have to come take a look and see what I can do.
Yeah. I had to play with it, but yeah, so like I think really it's just I need to devote some time around messing with it and actually dialing things in.
I can run my Trident around 300 millisecond, my big Voron at about 200, and I'm hoping to run the one I'm building around 200 as well.
Yeah, if I got any of like the bamboo printers, I'd have to build a steel cage to go around it, just because that's about how much I trust it. That's how much I trust the software in it.
Agreed.
That's people can't seem to like understand that, but like you have your HP printer that I don't trust that either. Like that is turned off and unplugged, and people would deem that is somewhat trustworthy, at least to be on your internet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to align some belt.
Has anyone done a teardown of any of the bamboo printers, like the wiring connections, like how those are?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there's definitely some videos out there. People have ripped them apart and gotten down in there, but like they pull off like the heat sinks and look at the drivers under it and stuff.
I'll have to take a look because I kind of figured there'd be something by now. Back when they were first coming out, they were kind of being a little secretive of what's inside. So
yeah.
So, even printers that you can get right now, they have soldered wires shoved in like these, like the screw terminals, and very much a call home log files. Yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I'm a little concerned about. Is like all what is it sending back home?
Right.
Is it just improvement information? Is it actually like usage? Like issues that it's running into, or like speeds that you're running it at, or is it more nefarious? Like what's on the network? What's is it could very easily go the other way, where it's kind of getting a footprint of like what your network looks like, and what can we do on the network? That kind of one of those tinfoily hat type of things, but it's not not the not too crazy either.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's just it's a quite convenient machine, so
yeah,
find it worth it.
Yeah, I've got other machines here that print perfectly fine. I'm not trying to win speedboat races or anything. I just need it to print.
It'll be interesting when that AMS type guy gets it done, and
the KMS double T. Yeah,
you'll send me a link to that. I want to peek at that.
He hasn't popped into the HughForge Discord in a while, but I'll definitely have to ask him about it.
We should talk to Zach Ass and see if he's done anything with that. One of the designs that he was looking at for the spool management is there's two PTFE tubes that you can run in between, and that kind of handles the kind of the overflow from when it switches filaments.
Yeah.
And it was like a very just stupid simple thing, and I don't know if he's gotten around to actually trying it, or if it actually worked or not.
Interesting. Yeah, the last thing, let me see. It was in our.
I'm in the Discord, so.
It's in the HughForge Discord in the MMU setup and help is where he posted it last. And I think he posted a video. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the Pete Zava. That's not the right mentality that you should have there.
Yeah.
You should always be keeping an eye on that stuff. Replace bamboo with Philips Hue, kind of the nefarious stuff that they've done. Kind of go one step further. If a criminal gets a hold of that information that they're sending back and forth, they just wait until you go. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. They could just wait until you leave your house, and what's the perfect time of going into someone's house is when they leave.
Yeah.
That's like a criminal type of mindset that you could look at it. So it's one of those things that I try and be as careful as. You can keep thinking that.
Yeah. What Shane's referring to is the collection of data.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was one of there was a DEF CON talk about stuff like many years ago, like maybe 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. That was talking about the smart meters and with the I think it was like just like it was I think it was power. I think it was the power one that they were talking about, and you could tell if someone was home or not. You know, just by the little bit of power usage, even with LED light bulbs, you know, the person kind of had a whole chart of, you know, here's how much, you know, just having a light on, you know, here's me opening the fridge.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's kind of insane of how much, you know, detail the power companies can gather on you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not data doesn't necessarily just mean knowing something about you. Data can mean having something about you that that somebody can act on. Like your bank account information, social security information, things that can make your life miserable. But yeah.
Just trying to get some things assembled here, hopefully.
Yeah, who says that I'm saying that Google's a good guy? They're they're far worse. Like,
Yeah, it's not about picking and choosing. It's just about being conscientious of it and avoiding when you can. Well, you know, one way or another. But obviously we trade a certain level of security for convenience. So
yeah, I use Android. However, that's also a spot where, you know, if you understand it, you know, this thing doesn't really, you know, travel with me very often, and you know, when it does, it's usually off until I need it. You know, there's ways of using a device to prevent, you know, the tracking of yourself. So you're using Google, so it's tracking you all the time. Well, if you use it in a way that you can keep it from tracking you. You can, you know, choose to not use the apps. You can choose not to use a lot of the features of the phone. Yeah, and that's why I turn the shit off. The phone is physically off.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting frustrated with this stupid printer nightmare, so I think we're gonna end it.
Yeah.
And I gotta go to bed and drive to Colorado Springs in the morning. Oh, boy.
oh, fun. I was just down in Pueblo today.
Oh, jeez. I couldn't do that kind of driving most days. I used to chauffeur, so it's just, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Not sure who Lambo drives Zambo is, but
Trust no one.
Trust no one.
That's good. Good line to go out on.
Yep. So when we end the stream, Ajax, it won't kick us all out. So
Yeah.
We kill. I need an outro these days, but it's all good. Everyone have a
Trust no
great
one.
Thanksgiving in the U.S. and we'll see you next week. I think. Clicking end stream.